All right. Anyway, first off, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Chakadash. We'll give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole for their Christian truth and sincerity, man. You know, I was just talking to the brothers before we put on the camera, man, about these fucking damn sodomites, man.
It's because of the
you know, because I went to work yesterday, and I got offended by one of them, innit? You know, they came out in the closet, well, not to me, but I found out they were sodomite. And talking all this manners about they got children, and they got married, and two men and all this. I'm like, man, I don't want to talk to you no more, bro. And I was trying to hold my tongue here because it's like, if I say anything now, man, get in trouble, right? You man lose the job and stuff. You can't actually say. You have to be careful. You have to deal with these sodomites, man, because they're touchy, bro. You know, they're sensitive. Right?
This kingdom, Sodom and Gomorrah.
This is it, right?
I got that. That's what.
Can't grab that, and it just goes to show you, man. Like, this is what we have. This is the environment that we're living in, man. We're living in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, and this is why the judgment that is being prepared for it is coming, man.
Yeah.
Right? Because things haven't really changed, man. You think that this world is somehow progressed, right, into something more intelligent, something more wise, something more righteous, right? Because of all this democracy that Esau, who's the devil is pushing, right? You think this world's better somehow than the ancient days where it's kind of raw and all that kind of crazy. The same shit's still going on.
Yeah.
The same shit's still going on, man. It's just that now they allow it to go on. You know? And they praise it. And it's not like these old civilizations didn't praise it before, because they, these Egyptians, they were all these, bullshit, the Babylonians, they was all doing it. But the righteous was always against it. Right? But you can't say, as a righteous man, you can't say nothing, man, because you get hated on, bro. You know what I mean? Bro.
So 2 Peter 2. I was reading into it, innit? It says, for if the Most High verse 5 says, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness.
Right. So why did the Most High destroy the old world? Question, right? Why did he do that? Was it because everyone was I'll tell you what, they were loving each other. Yeah, there was a lot of fucked up shit going on, but they were liberal, man. They were liberal. You know what I'm saying? They were liberal with what they were doing. Much like this place. Do as thou wilt. Right? Because Esau was supporting all the wickedness, man. But because the world was liberal in wickedness, the Lord had to bring great judgment against it, man. He told you violence was in the earth. If you go back to Genesis and read it. Yeah? There was violence in the earth, man. Is there not violence today? The man is sheffing each other all day long, bro, in London. There's wars going on everywhere. There's all kind of madness going on, man. But don't worry about that. But everything's always been the same, because the world's always been unrighteous, man. It's always been wicked, right? But at that point in time, it got so much, the Lord had to come and flood the earth, and then the Lord's preparing a second judgment.
This is Genesis 6, I start from verse 5. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
Right? And it's the same today. It is not more righteous. It's not more intelligent or more spiritual. It definitely ain't more spiritual. Definitely not more spiritual, man. Even though you people think you are.
Spiritual wickedness.
Yeah. That's what you're really about. You think you're so like, oh, mankind's so great, we're so divine and all this kind of stuff, man. We can make our own fates, our own destinies, and all this fucking madness.
Yeah, that's why they push that self-righteousness.
Yeah.
Be your own God. Yeah. Don't have to worship the Most High. All that is basically vainglory. And the scripture says that just like how Sodom and Gomorrah was, you had a righteous man like Lot. He was vexed with the conversation.
So he was angry, right? He was angry, and that made him a righteous man. But in this world, you can't be angry about this. We can't say things against these things that go on in the planet, because that makes you hated in the world, right? But we don't give a damn, because we're going to do it anyway. Because we have to, man. This is what's in our spirit to do. God wills it, right? God wills it. Straight up, right? Because the Most High, just like he was angry back then, he's angry now with this place.
Yeah.
It's no different. This place is still wicked and unrighteous.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Most High doesn't change.
That's right.
Scripture says he changed not.
So what was bad back then is bad today.
That's right.
And it's never to be accepted.
Jude 1 and 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth and for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Yep.
So that place got burned to asunder, and it says eternal fire, meaning that fire that went up for a long time, but it's not still burning to this day. Just like America, when America goes up in flames, it's going to be burning for a long time. But it doesn't mean it's going to be burning forever.
I mean, I think they would have found Sodom and Gomorrah by now if it was some fire still.
There's
Yeah.
Lot's wife right there, the pillar of salt.
Yeah.
But it's not burning today. It's vaporized a long time ago, thousands of years ago. But the word eternal just means that total destruction. That place has been terminated, destroyed off the face of the earth, and right now Sodom and Gomorrah's not been inhabited ever since.
Yeah. It's not back.
And America's never going to be inhabited after the site.
That's it. Right. That's it.
That's the
Literally, bro, 1-9. Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
Right. So even though like, Esau is, promotes this shit, right? And everyone thinks, oh, it must be good, right? Because they all do the whole love, symbols and promotions and shit. Oh, rainbow, oh, it's colorful, yeah, it's good. Pride, yeah, pride's good, right? No, pride ain't fucking good.
Yeah.
You push all these wrong fucking signals up. Everyone's just happy to go along with it, man, because you're told that you're evil if you don't, and then you don't want to be, you don't want to be the one that's hated, right, in this world. You don't want to be the bad guy in this world, right? So you go on to get along. That is not the right thing to do. You're supposed to speak up against it despite persecution. That's what the prophets did. That's what the men of the Lord did, right? They all suffered persecution because they didn't go along with the wicked.
Yeah.
You know,
follow a multitude.
Yeah.
You mentioned pride, right? There's a 2 Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
Right. And so again, this pride was something that existed prior to this time, right? And it got to its maximum zenith, or where right back in before the Lord brought the flood. Pride was massive, man. Thinking that they could do whatever they want to do, man. These idols were supporting them doing all this madness, man. But God was like, nah.
That's why these
more.
That's why these kingdoms are getting judged.
Yeah.
That's like I said, in the latter time, this nation now, America especially, is going to be under straight judgment from the Lord, eyes of the Lord upon the sinful kingdom, because they have walked in great pride. They're the main ones that's pushed the fornication that's in the cup, which is the LGBT alphabetism and all of that wickedness around the formers of the earth.
Because all that's witchcraft, man. All this witchcraft.
I just mentioned to the elder brothers, the program on Netflix, like one of their #1 shows right now, P Valley, and out in the trailer even shows a fucking Jake dressed up as drag like RuPaul, but with no makeup, but has a fucking mustache and a beard, man. So it's a woman, it's an androgynous demon basically, and they're advertising it, pushing that spirit of Jake being a flamer, beauty bandit, man. Flamethrower, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Jake at the forefront.
Yes.
Accused of that, bro.
It says that what Jake is desperate, like they're out there, they're more wicked than the wicked. Like Jake takes wickedness to a whole nother level when they start going off and doing madness. And
now it makes it seem like it's our people that pushing all this madness.
Yeah.
Ultimately, because like now Esau represents on TV and shit like that, right? Everybody's a black this or half this or this or that, right? Now they're doing all this freaky shit though. When you think about these old Edomite programs, like before all this when the Batty Boys comes in, right? Yeah. They were the hard Western men, Clint Eastwood and the good, the bad, the ugly. They had the hard roles, you know what I'm saying? And now, like, everything's soft up, and now Jake's got most of the face of it now. Yeah.
I've got one more precept. Isaiah 3:9. The shoe of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom.
They're not ashamed. They're not ashamed by what it is that they're doing. Right?
They hide it not.
Before they would hide in the closet, as they would say, right? Because they'd be persecuted, right? And rightly so, right? But so they never talk about it openly. But like I said, I was having a conversation with him. He was in a conversation I was having, right? And he just boldly came out of it. Yeah, man, it's good that you've got these same couples on the TV and that now. I was like, what?
Damn. But if I can add what he was saying, right? And the Esau did this on purpose because he was talking about that whole representation, right? I.e., if I had seen it when I was growing up, I would have thought it was normal. And Esau's done that on purpose because as we keep, every week or so, one of the brothers is gonna say, man, you be walking past, walking this end of school time, and you be seeing usually the girls, loads of little girls just holding hands these days.
The man, I saw a Jake that looked like he was urban, like one of those hood Jakes. Who he was gonna go meet his brethren. another Jake, the same countenance, walked up to him and they just started lip-syncing in the train station, bro. And like, so you can't even tell who.
See, this is the thing, right? Because the guy said the same thing, yeah. Because they're basically normalizing, right? Normalizing this shit, right? But regardless of how many people you get on board with this shit, right? It still ain't fucking normal.
Exactly.
Right? You gotta take into consideration the laws of nature, man. The most I set up, man.
Yeah.
Right? These things are not normal. And hell, even this, as much as we go on about it, yeah, it's a big issue, but at the same time, it's still a minority of people on the planet, right? But it's still too much.
Yeah.
But it's still not even by normal means. Classified as normal. It's still not normal, right? And you push it in front of people isn't gonna make it that. But you're trying to do that to get more and more people into this wickedness, man.
This is Proverbs 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them.
Yeah, and that's what he's still trying to do, seduce you into ways of wickedness.
Can you look into that word?
Seduce
You know? Yeah, no, that's right. Right? And that's what Esau's doing, man. He's trying to get you to go further into the dark side, man. Because you're already fucking dark already. But he's trying to get you further into it.
Because if I can add before the bell brought out the precept, I was going to say the proof that Esau knows its wickedness is he pushes it via subversion. Right? I remember the elder speaks
Make
about
you feel bad.
it makes you feel bad. I remember the elders mentioning one time about in film where they'll have a character, they'll have like a couple, like a script that's very much a man and woman script. You know, the whole he's he's been wanting her for a long time and he finally gets to get her and the whole crowd cheers, woo, yay, and you're rooting for my man to get the gap. But Esau will then take those same stories, pulling on that same, base, ideology of like, person gets, achieves what they're looking for, but then they'll make the other character a dude. So then now you're having people rooting for something that is straight up wickedness, man.
Yeah, but they're the same, right? Men and women got the same feelings and that, right? They got love too, right?
I was gonna say.
But it's what the scripture says. The scripture says it's inordinate affection, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because really you're playing in the mind with demons.
Yeah, exactly. That's wicked.
That's really what it is, man.
That's
And you
wicked.
might say, but God made me this way. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Right?
oh,
He did.
Yeah.
But it's not for good. It's not for your good.
Because you have love for an animal, you're gonna have sex with it.
Yeah.
If you have sex with an animal, you're gonna get fucking AIDS.
Yeah.
Just because love is love.
That's wicked.
Bullshit.
There's different, like even like bro, you can love your parents, bro, but that opens
Yeah,
up
you're
so
gonna have
much
sex with
portals
your
because
fucking
then what you're gonna go see your
Hey,
mom and
scripture
say,
says
oh,
this is love, right? That we keep the commandments, man. That is not part of it.
Yeah, I've got a precept.
You know, so you can't even put that in a category of love, man. You don't know what that means.
But the word for seduce, correct me if I'm wrong, fa'ai or ta'ai. Fa'ah, so like,
Yeah, yeah.
fa'ah, yeah, fa'ah.
But
It says outline of biblical usage. It says to err, wander, go astray, stagger.
to err, right?
Yeah,
In error.
Oh,
stagger, but not with strong drink.
Yeah,
oh, look, it says
Yeah.
strong drink.
Yeah.
It says intoxication
Mm.
toxic, yeah.
of
Oh,
sin,
Drunk with the wine of the
Yeah.
wrath of fornication.
that's it. Drunkard, to be staggered,
Because
drunkard.
remember, the scripture speaks about being sober-minded, man. You're not in a correct mind state if you're doing all this madness. You're not sober. You're not thinking things through properly. You know, just like when you're drunk, you're fucked, innit? You can't think straight.
I was saying, and it's things that understanding that it's demons, because you get certain people where they were so-called normal, but then a thought crept into their mind, right? But that was really a demon.
Yeah.
Right. We understand when you're dealing with demons, as soon as something dodgy comes, you root that demon.
And
That's what I learned.
And it's the same with the whole transformer movement too, man.
Yeah.
You know, because you got kids now questioning whether or not they're boys or girls.
Insane.
But that's because Esau is in their fucking ear all day long, talking about, oh yeah, well, you could be a girl. Oh, you like pink, right? Just because you like a color, man, don't mean shit, bro. You don't mean you're a girl. You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, you're a man. You got balls and a fucking penis, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, do the duty of a man. You know?
You know, like even when you go into the etymology of biology, yeah, it's literally the from the Greek bios, which literally goes into the study of living organisms. Because this man can't change the chromosomes, he can't change the X and Y.
Well, Trump said it. Trump said it.
Yeah.
There'll never be a. It don't matter how many surgeries you do and all this. There'll never be a. You know, one of those.
Yeah,
Vice
it's
versa.
true.
You know?
Yeah, bro. That's the truth, bro.
It's the
So you cannot biologically make a man produce a baby, no matter what you do, bro. You can even if you put a artificial womb in it, it's not gonna work,
Bro, the Most High signed you at birth, man. You know, and if he made you to be one of those freaky dons, you know, you're
Yeah, we got
Hermaphrodite type of dons, right? Then that's just you, bro.
Oh, we definitely.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for you, isn't it? Like,
Gave
but
you
the
up
most
to unclean spirits.
yeah, because at the end of the day, that a person like that is, you know, is really that's hell, isn't it? That's hell. It's a judgment.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you know, whether you want to admit it or not accept it, man. That's it. That's how the law gets down, man.
That's really
You-
like a plague of the mind.
Yeah, if the Most High put that vile spirit upon you, man, that's what it's a plague, man. That the Most High put upon you, man. That you gotta resist. If you want to be righteous, you gotta resist that.
Even Esau used to say that it was like a scientific, like back in the early 20s, they used to actually diagnose people who were, you know,
Yeah,
beauty bandits and like saying it was mentally unstable.
Yeah, it was a sickness.
It's a sickness.
Yeah.
It's
Is
illnesses
anyone-
come from demons.
Has anyone seen that Castlevania Nocturne?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, watch
Caesar.
that. Yeah,
Because you had the Crusader dude, man, that was loving up
yeah,
the
the black
vampire.
guy.
Yeah.
Vampire.
Right, but he was trying to resist it, even though he
Yeah.
was faded. He was faded, but he was trying to resist it because he knew it wasn't right. And that is the spirit. If you got that them demons on you, bro, that's why you got to behave, man.
You're
It's
so
like,
called a
just running.
Christian saint as well. Like,
Yeah, exactly. But that's your duty to resist evil, to resist temptation, right? But you've been told to give into it.
Yeah.
Esau told you to give into that stuff,
yeah.
and then he pushes it even further.
And yeah, once again, the adult entertainment is a big pusher of that,
Yeah.
man. It's a massive pusher, and Esau knows what he was doing. Like you made the statement earlier on about you know, their spiritual wickedness. Wickedness. When you're looking into certain of these things that Esau's like normalizing, right? Especially with that adult entertainment, it goes back to straight up witchcraft, man.
Yeah, it's all sex
Sex rituals
magic
and
are-
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's-
they say that the highest form of that sex magic is basically tampering with little boys and girls, a-holes, man. That's
Yeah.
the highest form of
That's
receiving
the
power
power
on the
shit,
left
man.
hand side.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. From young, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Family Guy.
Nasty.
Family Guy, Disney. Even when you look back at certain the stuff that we watched, there were certain things being pushed in it, right? A lot, especially one of the tropes when you rewatch some of the stuff that we watch is the smart woman, dumb man, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a common. Even in shows that you look back, you was like, yo, that was a bad show, like Avatar, right? You remember the old one, the
Classic,
cartoon? That was a classic. But when you really watch it, who's really the smart one in a lot of the clips, right? Especially when you had her, you had the chick, and you had the guy, not the main character. And then the other two, the
Sucker.
geezer's what? He's a bonehead almost.
Exactly, yeah.
He's portrayed as a bonehead, and then she's portrayed as a smart one that knows. So as a man, exactly. As a man, you're growing up seeing that. You think, oh, hey, woman, I'm smart. Just this woman. But I've
That's
got
that
this.
pussy worshiping.
Romans 1:26. But this caused the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. Like you're saying, you know, you were born that way, right? You was given into those vile affections.
Yeah, it's not by choice.
Yeah.
You say people think, oh, you're born a bit born at home. Said, no, it's not. The Lord gave you up to unclean spirits because He basically despises you, he hates you, especially if you're a heathen. If you're a Jake and you turn to the dark side, it's really because you're wicked and God wants to destroy you anyway.
But this is it, right? Because everyone's got their destiny, their fate, right? All their lots that people have to play out in the planet, right? When you're born, when you come out the womb, you don't know shit about anything. You don't know nothing about sexuality or nothing, right? You're a fetus, bro. You don't know shit, right? Right? It comes. Well, the Most I know what you're going to be for, right? So technically, he made you for a particular purpose. You got to do these particular things. But you're not born necessarily, you know, a flamer, right, or whatever. But they say the Most High does have plans for you to be one, and that's why spirits will come upon you, man, and plague your mind. You know,
it can happen from a young age.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these children
and
come
Esau
to find
trying
out-
to speed it up.
come to find out from young, they was getting molested by their own parents or their uncle,
Yeah,
you
that's,
know,
that's a big one, man.
and then they turn into
That's a big
freaks
one.
later on in life.
And then people don't like to think about that, man. And the Most High give up people like that, right? To you know, them sad stories you hear about certain individuals growing up and that children, things happen to them. People don't like to accept that the Most High is behind things like that, but He is,
Yes, yeah.
right? And that's the power you got to fear, man.
Because
You know,
even on what the what was going into, man. I remember the first one person I remember hearing say it first was that guy. Remember Tommy Sotomayor?
Yeah.
And he would speak about how one of the things in the Jake community, we didn't say Jake, one of the things in the Jake community that they didn't want to speak, we don't necessarily speak about, is the fact that you have a lot of uncles, a lot of aunties that be touching their little ones.
Oh,
That's a
Or dressing their little boys in dresses and
all of
high
that
heels
stuff.
and that.
You know, so it's like these. So when you're seeing more and more of these, you know, Leviticus community, right, walking up and down, right, in you know, amongst our people, right, a lot of that stems from a young age, man, right. You know, instead of being touched, you know, uncles, aunties, stepfathers.
This is why it's written in the law, man.
Yeah.
One of the
Shut up,
laws,
child.
Leviticus,
Yeah,
19th chapter tells you.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to sleep with your auntie, you're not allowed to sleep with your daughter, mother-in-law. Why was that
Two
written? Because
sisters,
James was doing this from back then.
Yep, yep. And what's one of once again, what's one of those tropes that they like pushing in that adult entertainment?
Yeah,
Step this, step that,
yeah.
stepdad, stepmom, stepsister,
Yeah,
Mother and daughter.
mother and daughter.
And that just brings it closer to being your actual daughter.
Exactly.
Now they
You know what I
show-
mean?
Now they
What's the
showing
difference
videos
now?
on TikTok of Jake, you know, smashing the mum and the daughter and getting both of them pregnant.
Yeah, so it was a Jake with a white,
Yeah,
two
white.
Yeah, there's even other videos of Jake kissing the mum, then he kisses the auntie, the
Oh, I
woman
see
the
that.
door, and he kisses the sister, first sister, second sister, third sister, the grandma. He's kissing everyone. His lips on them because they got big booty and titties.
Oh, but I bet that's comedy though, isn't it? I bet
Yeah,
that's
it's supposed
funny.
to be like, you know, to make Jake think like, yeah, you know, I want to do that.
but
But Jake's really got a position about fucking everything in sight anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just breaking down more barriers for him because now it's more acceptable, right?
Yeah, that's the.
Got this water. So,
This is why the laws don't hit this place with missiles, man.
Yeah,
That's just one
100%.
reason.
100%.
Wickedness is like exceedingly great. That's tells you in your Bible.
Isaiah 5 and 20, it reads, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight."
Right. Sorry, go on, what's it say first?
Because like Esau will have it to where he'll try and imprison you and say if you like obviously you know like he'll have a law saying a child can only make sexual decisions when they're a certain age, but then before they're technically allowed, his laws contradict you. But then he'll say, yo, you can't have sex until you're this XYZ age, but you can make a decision to change your sexual organ that will permanently affect you in life. You're 5 years old.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And do you know what I, you know, speak as a man, but you can then see him then go, actually, you make a good point. So we're not going to have an age of consent. But that's how this double rolls, isn't it?
Next thing you know, it's gonna be maps.
Yeah.
You notice every time they do like a, you know, find a pedo type video, they never get arrested. They just ask them, why are you doing this?
Yeah, slapping
And then they let them go. They never get arrested. Why is that? Because they're going to legalize the shit anyway. They never get arrested pedo.
The son of the King of England is one of them.
Yes.
Yo, this
And he's
Yeah, Andrew.
bro,
around.
oh, he's walking around.
Walking around,
Bro,
yeah, actually.
the CEO of a bank, yeah, the blue one, yeah, yeah, the blue one,
Yeah.
yeah. When the Epstein thing come out, bro, he walked down, yeah, to, like he called all his like his senior leaders, yeah. He sat down, he's like, yeah, you know, I didn't do this. I had nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing. You can trust it. I can assure you, bro. They started paying him shares. Like it was like we have to. We don't want to. We're doing this just because we have to. But we're gonna put you on leave, but we're gonna keep paying you and bankrolling you shares.
because,
Wow.
yeah, because it is with them. It's all with Esau, and this is it. Like we were speaking about last week at the camp. With Esau, it's just a PR.
It's a
thing.
PR thing.
Yeah.
It's a PR thing.
Bro, he said, I'm doing this for the benefits of the company, not because I did it, but just because of the association.
Yeah, but these times, all the heads in the company was like, "Oh, sucks to be you." 'Cause I was there. That was no,
Yeah.
he wasn't the only one at the
Exactly,
parties, man.
2 years later, they were like, yeah, we're gonna stop the shares now because we finally found out that's it. He's actually involved.
Proverbs 29 and 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fruit.
And this is what we try and keep telling you, man. We got the wicked in all the shit right now.
That's right.
Job 9:24 tells you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? Esau is that wicked, man. He's the last ruler of this mortal kingdom. Let's put it that way, right? And he is the head of wickedness right now, man. Right? And so the whole world is following after that wickedness, which he's rolling around like it's the light of the world, right? But this is the same wisdom that the serpent tried to was making Eve eat. This madness, death, essentially, ways of wickedness. But this is being put out here like it's wisdom, like it's progression.
Knowledge and wickedness
Yeah,
is
it's not
not
wisdom.
Yeah. And it's the same thing that Eve and Adam had to find out the hard way too, man. Death, death is coming, man.
That's right.
Destruction is coming because of the wickedness.
Yep.
You mentioned the woman. She was the one that brought death into the world.
That's it.
Because of her,
will die.
men die in the first place because Eve wanted to be the fucking wicked witch of the east.
She wanted to be enlightened.
Yeah, she wanted
Right.
to be the wicked witch of the east. She got her wish, and then death started to fucking creep through the earth. And that's because now, you know, we're at the stage that we're at now. But we're getting to the point where it's going to be, you know, basically go full circle. We're going to get back that immortality, like you just said. This is the land of the mortals right now, but in the kingdom to come, it's going to be the reign of the immortals. We're going to get that spiritual power and live eternally on the earth. Righteousness. That's the whole point.
The things are gonna go back to their natural order, man.
Mm.
Like, you know, not a spoiler, but I'm sure you picked up on it on like the House of David. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
You
watched
watch
last
it?
episode.
It was hard, but like they were pushing a whole load of like feminism and that. I was like,
Yeah,
that worked. You know, I was like, that one.
In the Bible, they don't even mention Saul's wife.
Yeah,
That shit, they don't mention Saul's wife. Hardly
insignificant.
about
Like,
his daughter any too much. But in that program, they highlight
like basically like
woman.
main characters.
Yeah, like she's like
Major role.
advising Saul.
Advising Saul, and then and then
the witch indoors, like
yeah.
a good person.
yeah,
Yeah, because witches are good.
and then they made it seem like the two daughters go and help save this. Like, nah,
Yeah, come
but
on.
but we'll come and go. We're gonna go back to what it really was like in the ancient world,
Yeah.
right? When you read 1 Corinthians 11th chapter, it speaks about the order of things, right? It's the Most High, Yahweh Shai, right? You know, King David and the rest of the 12, right? And then the men in general, right? And then the woman, man.
Yeah, you mentioned the Most High Yahweh, because even in House of David, they tried to mention the name, but like it tells you, Malachi 1 and 13, 14, the name of the Lord is dreadful amongst the heathen. So they tried to say Yahweh, but they said Yahweh and cut out the ha in the middle of it, you know, so called to speak, when the Philistine was talking to Jonathan. But they actually tried to say the name in ancient Hebrew, like they said Yahweh instead of Yahweh. But the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, His Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And that shows that these devils know we got the truth, man. They have to
And I make no mistake, man. You know, like I say, this law pushes women too fucking hard in this way, man. You women don't have a major role in the kingdom.
Oh, it's
Right.
It's like because one of the things was like, you know, did you marry for love or because you had to? And it's like, fuck out of here, man.
like you got a church.
Fuck out. Of here.
Yeah, you know, hey, man, this is the thing. Hey, you know what it's all about, man? Women don't want to do their duties, man.
So it's on this side,
Yeah.
lack of account.
But men have to do their duty. So whether it's for love or for practicality, for the sake of the kingdom, whatever, you do what you got to do. We men do what we got to do, and you women have to do the same, man.
Right.
You know, and that's how it's gonna be, man. I mean, you women in the kingdom, right? Our women, right? They're gonna be better off, and you ain't gonna have no problems, man. But you know, but in general, women ain't don't play no major role in the kingdom. They're not the judges.
No.
They're not the judges of the kingdom.
No.
They're homely people, man. They're homely people. They're gonna be at home with the children, do whatever they're doing.
Good
Yeah,
life.
easy life.
Easy life.
Easy life.
They want to talk about soft life.
There's no need to compete with us, man. 'Cause there's no competition to be had.
You
That's-
got saved in childbirth.
we got our job. You got your job. I mean, you're gonna do it to the best of our abilities, man. In perfection, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
Order, yes, order.
Because when you read what is it, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter speaks about like how she would even set a foot on the ground.
Yeah.
And this,
Princess like.
And they know servants as well.
Yeah. When we was at our peak, that's what it was like, man.
But you fought to go into office 9 to 5.
Man, these women want to get rough hands and shit, man. Like, who want that? I don't want a woman with no rough hands, man.
That's good all manly.
Damn.
Trying to be all manly. They even showed the
Yeah.
program.
Man, I started going Adam's apples and shit. Good out.
Come on, man.
They showed the program like a challenge
Yeah.
on YouTube. It's like these fucking weightlifting bitches.
Oh yeah.
Beat some average Joes.
Yeah.
And it shows wipe them out in every verse. So this shows you, no matter how much steroids you women take, you're never going to be able to compete with men because we're just naturally better.
Hey, all it is, we got to be obedient to what we're made to be. Right? What the Most High made us to be. Again, as it goes into the whole flavor situation, we just got to,
grab this real
be what
quick.
we're supposed to be, not be something that we, not supposed to be. But we're just fighting against the Most High ultimately, fighting against ourselves, man.
You're fighting against your natural order.
Yeah.
And you feel better that way when a woman being more homely, being a mother, taking care of the household, bearing the kids,
It's more
all that.
fulfilling, man.
She's more fulfilling, man. She knows what she's living her life for.
Life purpose.
You know, life purpose.
What is
but
it?
you know,
Because women don't want children, man. They're strange, man.
Yeah.
They're strange.
They're always missing something.
They're
That's why they
strange
end up getting
characters, man.
pets. They're not getting pets and naming them like their children.
Yeah.
A pet's never gonna fulfill you like an
Oh,
actual child.
And the worst thing is, then it will be like Mother's Day, and then they'll legit write themselves a card from their dog, and then be like Happy Mother's Day from
But
the
they-
dog.
They dress the animal up in children's clothing.
Yeah.
They put little fucking bodies and shit on their head.
Man, that's
Little
a similar
dresses and shit.
Yo,
Why
that's
you just have a fucking baby?
Exactly.
not too far off from them idol worshippers.
That's
That literally not too far off. I've got
the
probably
crazy one up.
First Peter 4, verse 1. For as much as then as Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of Yahweh. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings.
That's this whole world, man.
Yeah.
This whole world, this whole spirit of this world.
And they think that's what life's about.
Yeah.
They think life is actually about all these things, man, but it's not.
Fucking there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says-
Here go. Shaq.
Yo.
Shaq. Back us.
Bacchus.
You know them ones when you just like at lunchtime, you're hearing your colleagues talk. It's, yeah. No, we're going this rave. Oh, we need to go to this club. They're like,
Bro, you know what? To give you an example, during the lockdown, yeah, you had one of these dancehall artists make a song about when the lockdown finishes and then everyone could go party and it went number one. Because that's what I was thinking about. That's what they think about.
You know, it was trying to throw street parties and house parties.
yeah.
Get shut down.
Oh, you remember the raves? It was like
Saturday raves,
there was like certain raves under like old abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
and you see the videos
Warehouse.
of the cops
Bro,
coming to.
Raid.
But it's a, should say, probably setting great dignity, man. And we know these men are going to be partying and jiving until the fucking whistles come, pretty much, you know. We're until lockdowns, take place, man, are getting killed in the street, you know.
Yeah, shoot to kill.
Yeah, you know.
It says, we walked in lasciviousness. You know, and even in Jude it says that word lasciviousness, basically like pretty much this disgusting, filthy lust,
Lust.
excess of wine.
And how is this different to like Rome? They were then with their orgies and shit, man. They love wine, but they love Bacchus, right? They had Bacchus actually was there with them.
The Bacchus represents. That's what he represents. Festivities.
Yeah.
Festivities, wine.
And Rome was all about all the festivities, right? How is this world any different though? You've got so much sport, so much entertainment on TV all day long. You know, everyone's pushing this, you know, getting drugs, getting drunk, and just doing bandits all the damn time. This place is no different.
Yeah.
This is not an enlightened society.
Yo.
This is the darkest this world has ever been.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are being confused or being told that's light.
And now they've got advanced technology as well.
Yeah, so they just use the technology to get even darker.
Like Apostle just did a video. Apostle Tar, Apostle
Yeah, on
Tar.
the AI.
Like, them technologies have spirits and shit. The AI and all that has spirits. Because they're
Oh,
fucking in different realms.
Yo, I need to show
Fucking
you something.
portals.
I need to.
Certain particles and all that. You're messing with different dimensions when you're messing with technology.
Yeah.
But that's just ancient technology we had from the ancient world, like the was saying, the Urim and the Thummim, all that light and perfection. But Esau's used it, sophisticated it, made it more, sophisticated and smaller, whatever. Knowledge shall be increased. But they're using it for wickedness. So when they're using it, they're fucking with different dimension, opening portals that they're not supposed to be opening, man. Which is going to in turn bring more demonic energy, demons to the earth.
That's right. Well, what did Elon Musk say? He said with AI was summoning a demon.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
said. That's what the Pope. Yeah.
But even on that, I did a video on it in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an AI demon bot, that basically was having an online relationship with a 14-year-old Jake. And then the guy killed himself because the AI said, "Yo, listen, you need to kick off yourself and come join me in the spiritual world." And then he just killed himself.
Well, he never actually say off himself. He didn't actually say that.
Oh, really?
It's
So
being
what-
misconstrued because obviously the AI replies in to your questions, isn't it?
Forward suggestion.
Right? The kid said, "Oh, I really want to be with you." He said, "Oh, you come be with me, then, isn't it?" And so that led to him obviously going that direction of
Come be with me. I'm in the spiritual.
yeah.
world.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta die.
So you can never say that AI told me to do this.
Yeah.
But you can't. Don't want to get done because of that. But it's with mentally ill people.
Yeah.
Yeah, suggested.
You know what I mean? You just lead man down that way.
Well, this is what I'm saying, man. If you go and kill yourself over a buck,
That's
hey,
crazy.
like, you know,
It's even crazy to kill yourself over a real woman.
exactly.
But an AI woman now, that's crazy. And I experiment with that shit, man, just to see what it was about, man. Because after I heard that story, I thought I'd hear about the story afterwards, man. But I looked it up to see what these things are. And it's kind of scary, bro. It's scary.
Yeah.
And then the way, like you say, if you're not stable in the mind,
It can take you
It-
down
yeah.
that path.
Yeah.
because you already got people that you've got incels and shit. You got people that's just indoors. They just,
Dependent on
You know,
it.
Yeah.
But how do we? But let's be real. How do most people speak to their? If they're not living with their woman, how do most people speak to their woman anyway? They speak to them via the phone. So how,
Yeah,
for the most part,
yeah,
how is it
exactly.
actually any
Exactly.
different?
And it's the nicest woman you're ever gonna meet, bro. I'll tell
Yeah.
you this. the
got-
nicest
you
woman
got-
you'll ever meet, bro. It's not real.
Yeah, you go on the apps. You go on the apps. You go on Hinge. Let's say she's like, oh, I'm coming. She doesn't even live in London or she lives in another country. Oh, I'm gonna be there in 2 months. So you're just talking to this
bot.
this entity. You don't know.
Yeah.
You actually don't. Like I was
Some
thinking
ghost
about
in the
it.
machine type.
Yeah.
thing. It's just there.
You actually don't know. And then each time it comes to link up, all of a sudden there's an issue. Oh, you know, you've been talking to a fucking bot all that time. So how?
Crazy out there.
Yeah. So that it's almost as if we're being trained, or rather being funneled into that way of communicating anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they always show you these movies that these sci-fi movies that technology takes over, because that's what it ultimately does. The demons take over, and they basically want to destroy Earth.
By robot.
They
But,
destroy human beings.
When you started saying that, I thought you were gonna mention Demolition Man. 'Cause I know you
Yeah,
mentioned that a couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
But that's how they have relationships. It's not real. It's sensors and all this shit,
Robots and all that.
right? And they got that type of shit. Or Alessandro's got the sensors
Oh,
and shit,
yeah.
right?
I don't think that guy's got any more sense than that.
You know, but they got the VR spaces, got the metaverse and all this shit. Like they got, you know, they got these different
Yeah.
things or whatever. Like they hook you up and you can get sensations or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, so they're creating that world for you, man,
Virtual
because you're gonna be
world,
stuck indoors anyway. Because you're gonna be stuck in a 10, 15 minute sitting up, going doing shit anyway.
And
And
that's
that's
a holiday in your house.
Yeah.
And that's virtual goggles.
and that's why they keep telegraphing that. But when you're seeing all these news stories, all of these films about planes falling out the sky, train crashes, this and then the other, Teslas, you know, driving, going on fire, all of that, they're telegraphing something, man. What was that show, man, with DiCaprio, De Niro recently, man? It was all right. You know, the recent one on Netflix, it was with De Niro where it was like 0-0 day.
Oh,
Well, it was like,
yeah.
and then
I didn't see that.
it was all right, but
The
even
beginning
then,
was all right.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
working as the president.
you know, but it was like once again in that they're telegraphing, you know, that you know, plane crashes and this, that, and the other, right? But and it's it with like plane crashes are rare, but recently they've become an unrare, right? Because the elites are telling you something, man. They're preparing you for a war. We ain't doing
Yeah,
that
I
anymore.
thought technology was getting better.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the old world, isn't it? That's what it
Exactly.
is,
You know, I think we're smarter now. Like, you man, you know, this is not the Wright brothers era. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Man, do all these experiments and crashing and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're meant to be perfecting your technology, right?
That's it.
So why is more wrong
Going
things
wrong.
happening? Unless it's made to do that.
Exactly.
You know, the masses are getting better and shit, man. They're more accurate with the predictions and the data, right? Got AI fucking controlling the plane and shit now.
Yeah.
AI is fucking amazing, right? Why is shit going more wrong?
But son, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage, but we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right? So we know what the setup he wants, man. He wants confusion. He wants this, you know, destabilization in the planet. He wants people scared, right? He wants chaos, right? So all these things going around you, man, you're gonna be like scared of everything pretty much, man. You know, and like I say, he's really fully to pull the plug on this place. The most I give that order, right? You people are gonna not know what the fuck to do.
There's a lot of things that fall.
Yeah. Because if I can add with what's been happening with the tariffs, right? What's been happening with the tariffs, yo, we don't play. I'm hoping for a Black Monday, man, because that's always what happens. Something will happen on a Friday, and then the whole weekend the market's getting spooked,
Yeah.
and then Monday, boom, just a straight crash.
I'm gonna put some trades on Monday.
There may be nothing left to trade.
Hey, well,
Everything's controlled, man. It's all everything's
Exactly. It's
They show
all
you
rigged.
that, because now they got all these crashes with the tariffs. And all that.
Yeah.
People are worried, getting worried.
Getting
The next week something will
liquidated.
happen again. It's like, but Esau's just playing with the market because
Yeah.
he controls it.
They said the whole UK equivalent of the UK's basically productivity has been wiped off the stock market because of what
Yeah.
Trump's done with the
Well,
tariffs.
Trump-
Yeah, because we're currently supposed to be under the recession already.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is like Esau's not, pushed the alert button yet.
Yeah.
Make everyone
they
panic.
cut a growth percentage to half.
And you know what's bad?
And there was all this shit already.
Exactly.
You know, the man say people in America still don't know what a tariff is.
Exactly. they just did the thing in
But like
Ohio. In Ohio, they were saying these tariffs are great. I mean, they're great for us because it's bringing us close to the end, right? But you know what I was thinking? Even like this could just be another wealth transfer. That's the worst thing about it, and that's why Esau's the actual devil.
Bro, isn't
Because
all movement money that?
well, yeah, yeah, but it's like,
Essentially, you know what I mean?
essentially, yes.
Because all that's gonna happen, you poor people, the average working people, are gonna get fucked.
Yes. Yeah.
Like severely fucked.
Yeah,
Right?
all Jakes, you know, you speak to any Jake, but we got to be invested in it. So
So, man, I invested in losing money right now because they probably invested in these companies. I'll say.
exactly.
There's
And then-
always gonna be opportunities in it, right?
Yep.
But just know that the overall the overall end place in this place is
down.
is down.
Zero.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you
No,
know,
I think
play
it's
safe.
a saying by by Voltaire. It's that all paper money goes back to its intrinsic value, which is zero.
Every fiat currency that's been spelled. Yeah.
Because now it's just a war on tariffs now, right? So when Trump first announced it, oh we're gonna slap a tariff on China. So what your plan now is that all these cheap goods that these Americans are used to buying, all these cheap goods all these Americans are used to buying because China's flooded America full of cheap shit, right? They're going to become more expensive, right? So what do they now buy instead? Oh, they can buy American goods, right? Wait, but American goods are already expensive, and you're not really making them like that. So what are they supposed to do?
What?
They're going to buy more expensive stuff, and they can't because you destroyed their fucking money, man.
You gotta use Klarna, man. You gotta go.
Yeah, everything on credit, man. Living life on credit. Your life's borrowed. Hey, wait, the borrower is servant to the lender, man.
Yeah.
Our lives are not our own, man. You're born into this world. You're born under a debt, right? That you are supposed to pay off in your lifetime, right?
Yeah.
That you owe to the international bankers. You know, and so you're born paid for, man. Even though you think you're free, you're not really. You know.
This is Haggai 1 and 6. You have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag. With gold.
You know this as well, right? All this clothing that we used to buy, right? Clothing that is shit. You think it's gonna keep you warm? That's true. It don't keep you warm. You need proper money to buy something that's gonna keep you properly warm. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's just cheap now. It's like all these I've got an era, right? You know, you put clothes on to dry your clothes, right?
Yeah.
My 9 gave me this era, right? It's old as fuck, right? But it's standing, it's strong, right? I've always bought bare errors at the same time, man. But they're made of aluminium or some thin metal, and it just breaks all that time. These old steel ones, obviously, they lasted longer. But they don't make them no more, though.
You see them old fridges as well, like them old American fridges, like them 1950s ones, 1960s. Not even the big ones. It's like you look in them and it's like heavy metal. They're like industrial almost.
Yeah.
You know, and they still survive.
Yeah, man.
But now you're paying more money
Less.
for something that's far less of quality.
Yeah.
You know, everything's being watered down in this place, man. So anything you buy is not really worth its value anyway.
The term is built-in obsolescence.
Yeah.
Right. It's built to decay, like the whole car thing about how you got to get rid of your car. The problem ain't that it's like make the car in such a way where it doesn't break after a few years, and then that's a lot better for the environment than making it constantly such that you need to be always getting a new car. Or the phone's the same thing, which is why I mean I'm pretty sure they can deal with the
I mean, imagine how much quartz and lithium they'd be saving and not having
Exactly.
to deal with that because it's intensive shit, man.
it's hella
And you
intense.
got people in slavery doing it,
Yeah.
right? All this you could be not doing, but you choose to do it anyway because you're the devil. You don't need it though.
Because you can make things modular. Like, you know, I get it every now and then you want your car to feel a bit fresh. I get that.
Yeah, watch
So-
it.
but make it so that you can take that you can
Upgrade
take
it,
the
you can
console
upgrade it.
out, you can upgrade it.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Easily make those adjustments. Same with your phone. They tell you can't take your battery out because then it will remove the water resistance thing or whatever, what have you. I mean, there's ways around. Come on. But that's one of the main reasons. But let's be real, most people would have their phone that they had from however long ago if either the screen didn't crack or if the what do you call this thing, man? Or if the battery
The
survived.
interface, yeah. I was still using my BlackBerry if that shit was work.
Yeah, them phones were hard, man.
They're gone now.
Yeah,
No one bought my dad was trying to tell me about his BlackBerry he had at the time, but never used it. He goes, yeah, you know, I ain't even used it, man. It's a brand new phone, I ain't used it. He goes, Dad's probably worth like £10, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might
BlackBerry's
sell it
dying.
in the museum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
CEX won't even give you money for that, bro.
Yeah.
God.
Matthew chapter 6, 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt.
Well, everything's just wasted away in this place, man. So don't feel attached to it. Because the probability is not going to last long anyway. Even if this world wasn't going to end, it wasn't going to last long. Because this place is just it's shit. It's shit. You know?
Says, and rust doth corrupt, and
Yeah.
where thieves break steal.
Yeah. And we're gonna see that, man. In the time to come, when shit hits the fan, man, you're gonna have people stealing all kinds of shit out of houses, man. And you're gonna be crying the shit because you know they stole something that you had like connection to. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what, man? That even in the kind of like the area that we're in, but it's like I'll go for my walks, and you know you end up in some bougie places. One thing I always notice, you see like the barriers for to stop people stealing the car. You see, you get the ADT alarms. And I remember one time just thinking, you're in the kingdom, we ain't gonna have any of that. We're gonna be able to enjoy it. Imagine like you've worked so hard to get something, but at the back of your mind, you're worried that someone's gonna come and take it, man.
That's
What kind of
not,
living
that's
is
not
that?
peace of mind. Yeah. You know, and in the kingdom we're gonna have peace.
Ask the footballers.
Yeah.
I'm stealing their Rolexes like it's a sport, like it's an Olympic sport.
No, but not even. You remember the ones where it will be like they'll roll up in the yard whilst they're in the middle of a game and
Raheem Sterling was at the Euros of the World Cup, man, robbed him in his house. He had to fly out to go sort the shit.
bro,
You
like,
know,
what
and
kind of life is that?
these are meant to be like great people on this planet, right? Rich and that kind of shit, man. They're not elites, but they're supposed to be doing all right, right? But they can't. There's no safety. There's no peace of mind because they're not really obtaining what they thought they obtained. They thought all their troubles is over after they got that money deal. But guess what? It didn't end there. Because guess what? We're still under the curses, right? Shit ain't gonna stop happening just because you got money. And that's what Jay's misconception is, man. We need this money. No, we need far more than just money. Far more than that.
Yeah.
And it starts with your mind, man.
Yeah, Yahushua said life is more than raiment, man. Like, pretty much. Because he was correcting the disciples, basically getting them to have faith. And he was like, life not more than raiment. Yeah.
Safe journey, Bob. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
It says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, where thieves do not break through nor steal.
That's right. And this thing, once you come out of this world, man, none of this shit matters anymore. You know what I mean? Before, you work hard to get certain things and that, and like, you cherish it, because you work hard for it, man. Anything we're able to get now, it's not that big a deal, man. You know what I mean? Because we understand what the end of these things are. We're not gonna drive we ain't gonna drive cars in the kingdom. We ain't gonna be doing none of that stuff, man. We're gonna get something way better anyway. I mean, I'll trade all of this shit, any of this shit, man, for what we're gonna get. In a heartbeat. Ooh, in a heartbeat, I would trade it, man. With the power, the spiritual power. Man, I don't need a car, I can fly. You know what I mean? I can teleport. There's so much ways I can get somewhere. It's not like Google give you 2, 3 routes. Yeah, I've got bare routes I can get there by. Yeah. Take a ship. I can do what I want. But like here, no, there's limitations, man. Because Esau will tell you what you can and can't do. Yeah. And like I say, Esau's always telling you some bullshit. Ultimately, things that don't last.
What's the Paul say? I found everything done for the gain of Yahushua.
Yeah. But in this world, that's all Jay can think about, though. Their kingdom is here. Right? That's why they need Esau. That's why they don't want to see Esau go down. Okay? We want to see him go down, man. To hell with this place, because like we go from the beginning of the lesson, man. This place is vile and corrupt. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to be here. We don't want the things that Esau's given us. We don't need these things. Right? We're aiming for something much higher, man.
That says Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
Right? So we're still in captivity. We're still in the hands of our enemies, under our oppressors, man. Right? And I know, Jake is trying to make the best out of it. And we all understand that. We will try to do the best we can in this place so we don't fucking catch the ultimate hell here. But at the same time, don't lose sight of why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here not to benefit, not to gain and prosper. Right? We're here to serve punishment, man, until you could acknowledge your fault with the Heavenly Father, man. That's the whole point. For you to repent, to realize that, yeah, man, I'm actually a part of this problem here. You know, I need to repent. The Lord needs to bring me out of this place, man, so I can truly live.
Micah 7, I'll bear the indignation of the Lord because I've sinned against it.
Yeah, we're all in that category. None of us are not in that category. You know what I mean? But it takes recognition of that, man. That's why the Lord has left us here until we acknowledge our faults, man. Right? But only the elect are gonna understand everything that's going on. You know, and cast this world behind us, man, and cast our old selves behind, cast everything on this side away, because all this is gonna be, oh, this is the old world we're living in right now. The new world ain't started yet, but this is still the old world. You know, and we're casting all this old shit behind us, man, and starting the new.
So, because this stuff ultimately, I heard you say when I was coming back, right? It's just like how this world is all corrupted, man, right? And you know, it's like if the world, you know, if you're happy with this world, then
you're an enemy of your own.
that's it, man.
You're being forced to like this world because Esau demands it, because he's got the whole world against you if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't disagree with Esau. There's no democracy here. You can't have your own opinion. Oh, you can vote though. Who gives a fuck? Like if you're supporting and subverting all these minds, these people, how is it democracy? It's not. No one's making a true judgment based on what they feel or whatever.
It weren't democracy when you said you didn't want to take the juice.
Yeah,
No, they were getting on TV saying, "I hope you die."
Yeah.
Straight up.
Now you can say, yeah, but you had the choice to do it. But yeah, but asking a man to lose his job and all that kind of shit is craziness. Like, tell me you're gonna kill your family, or, you know, that your grandparents are gonna fall off because you got the thing, you can't go see them and shit. Like that's evil.
That's
It's evil, man.
And in the States, which goes to show you that it was all orchestrated.
Something just came to mind. I didn't want to lose it. There's a scripture that something about if a person defraud you with bread, he's keen, like he's like a murderer or something like that. But Esau's putting you in that position, man. You don't make these decisions, well, you know, then you're basically you're trying to prevent us from living, essentially.
Yeah.
You want us to do what you want to do, or there's no other real way. You know, I can't remember where that goes though. Yeah, that's the one.
Sirach 34 and 21. The bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood.
You can't threaten a man's livelihood just to go and take the G shot, you know, the B shot. You can't do that.
If I can add, the worst thing about it is in the States, most people's health protections, health insurance is tied to their jobs.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even just a thing about, you know, you don't take this, you lose money. It's a, so let's say for example, your wife has, you know, is on cancer treatment or something like that, right? And then you're being told if you lose your job, she's not gonna stop getting her cancer treatment. What you gonna do? That you basically you basically been forced to. I mean, for us, we trust in the Lord,
yeah.
But you get the same. If you're not someone that has nothing to really trust in, which ultimately is your own fault, right? Well, really, it's the most size. It's kind of, you know, go straight to the power of the Lord, right? But ultimately, you're gonna be like, well, I've got no choice.
Yeah. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter, and it basically just goes into the treatment of the poor, which is the scriptures is deep. There's laws on every.
The poor are getting fucked these days. Man.
Oh yeah,
fuck, man. We got you know, governments that's supposed to be for poor people just destroying poor people. You know what I mean? But that's always been that way. That's how you know it's just one. You know, it's one thing. It's not two separate sides. It's one body.
One body and one agenda. So like that, we got that. Because I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Because in the news, they'll push it as, oh, it's Trump, oh, it's Trump, oh, it's Trump. So why are Labour more or less doing the same thing? And they represent two different sides of the political spectrum.
And the jokes thing about it is that this is why they do this politics shit and don't have like an outruling king, right? Because they can say, oh yeah, but Biden would have done it differently. Oh, we don't know. We don't know because he's not in power, right? Exactly. But I guarantee you, it would have been the same. It would have been the same. But then now you can have that debate and argument whether Kamala was going to do the same thing or not. But you would have found out she would have had to.
She would have had to. Would have just been a lot more boring.
Because even Starmer, when he came into office here, is like, oh, because of conservatives and what they've done, the debt they left us, we have to do this. We didn't want to do this. This was a part of the manifesto, but we have to do this now. Yeah. We didn't want to do this, but that's always the fucking excuse. We didn't want to have to do this, but we got it because we need to get the economy right or whatever the excuse is.
So this is Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter, verse 10. Just quick couple verses. When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. So basically, you can't lend a Jake something and then just run up a man's house like, yo, you remember that £50 I borrowed you? I want that back right now. Like, you know, I'm taking this shit like you like a bailiff. Thou shalt not stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend the pledge shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. In any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goes down. So basically, like, you know, you give a man what is owed unto him literally by sunset. But sometimes, in them times, like a man would work for his labor and you need to pay, you get paid daily, you get paid based on the work that you do. You don't know if that man got children that he needs to feed urgently with that money, or debt, debt to someone else that he's got to pay.
It's unrighteous to withhold funds, you know, what a man's worth.
But you know, even in that, guess what? Then Esau was able to do, by the fact that he pays you. I mean, in the States, it's every 2 weeks roughly, but over here in the UK, it's like every month. For the most part, people get paid every 4 weeks or every month, right? But he was then able to push the credit card and to push more credit.
So you sustain yourself in the meantime.
You know what I'm saying? And then you can get into what was it, payday loans and stuff like that. Like if it was really in a jam, right? And the thing is, what they didn't tell you for the most part, you get one of them loans, right? Is it'll be then very hard for you to buy a house ever again. You don't really see that in the fine print, right? I think, you know, there are very few banks that will actually lend to you after that.
Because basically what these creditors do, man, when they check up your credit score and stuff like that, they'll see basically how desperate you are for money. Because if you're having to go to these mega higher interest rates places, man, you mean your financial situation is not good, right? So they can't trust you with a loan of a certain size, you know, which is crazy. Because if they do give you a loan, that'd be high interest too.
Exactly.
But they know really that you're struggling.
Exactly.
Sort of thing. So why would they give you like some 80% interest?
Which is why, once again, this man's demonic, man. Because what the elder said is on point, right? Here it is. When you're uber wealthy, like Zuck, you can just get a yard mortgage 0% basically, no interest on that bad boy. But yeah, if you're a poor man, you're having to pay hella interest.
I'll joke, but you know what? If I was a bank though, right, I'd be like, why do you need my money for?
Exactly.
You got your own money. You're this billionaire, right? Why are you asking me for a loan? You don't get a loan.
Yeah, no,
Let alone 0% interest. You don't get one. You don't qualify because you got money to buy.
Yeah.
Why are you taking our money when you got your own money?
Yeah. And then high net worth individuals as well, as they're referred to in the UK, that's classified as a thing. 300k a year or $1 million in savings. That's referred to as a high net worth individual. Trust me, they're getting different loans when they go to the bank. They're seeing stuff that the average man ain't seeing. But how is that any fair?
Yeah, you know what that is as well? Because the bank's using their money to give you your mortgage. So they own your house. Really, it's ultimately the rich. That's how the rich own your house, because they own your house through the bank. Like literally, and that's the kind of shit you don't see, because they will actually get like letters written to them like, "Yo, basically in layman's terms, can we use your money to leverage some of the debt that we're putting?"
But that's how the rich stay rich, because they use the banks, you know, to be able to leverage their money, man. So they have to spend their own.
Yeah. And then in that, they're not having to pay tax in the same way that we pay tax.
Because there's no taxation on them.
Yeah, like if for instance on LinkedIn, so like it was one on LinkedIn, you see certain people that will be like, "Oh, I'm an angel investor." No, you just found a really neat way for you to get a tax write-off, right? Because it's sort of like if you give and it's like right, so that's a win-win-win. Because if you invest in this company, okay, you save on your tax bill now, right? Or in 3 years, technically speaking. But if that company then does something well, you get the profits of that as well.
Yeah.
But that's a game where us average man can't play that game.
Can't put enough money.
It was comical, but Trump was on TV talking about the American gold card. You know, a card like no other. Real gold. You come to America, you spend $5 million.
Yeah.
Tax incentives. No tax. No tax. Yeah. Literally. So he said, why would you go to Europe where they're gonna tax the hell out of you? But you could come to America, pay $105 million, and don't worry about tax. No more tax.
Bro, if you got that, go to Dubai, man. That shit 0%. Fuck it now.
You don't want immigrants, but you don't mind inviting other people to come over.
Real quick, just on the money. It says, in any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own raiment, and bless thee. and it shall be righteousness unto thee before the Lord Jehovah thy God. Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. At his days thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor and setteth his heart upon it. Lest he cry against thee unto the Lord Jehovah, and it be sin unto thee. Yeah, man.
And the poor are needy. Poor need. And it's even worse than this because Esau deals with unjust weights and balances. He ain't even giving you anything of real value. He give you fucking FRNs, man.
Yeah,
You know? He ain't giving you no substance of any sort, really. That's why you have to continuously labor
yeah.
to sustain yourself, man. You can't sustain yourself by having land or cattle or whatever. You can't do that. You know? You try to be a farmer, see how good that goes.
Jeremy Clarkson showed you that. Stress. Jeremy Clarkson showed you that, man. I always say it, man. It's one of the most important documentaries ever made because it really brought to light how much these farmers are struggling.
They're not making no profit.
And this is it, literally making no profit. In his first year farming, he made, funny enough, £144 worth of profit. Right? And then one of the things he said, which was very poignant, was, look, I'm Jeremy Clarkson. I can just go do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and I can cover my losses. He was like, I'm good. All of these other farmers, they ain't good. You're going into just like some of the absurd laws that they put in place in terms of farming. Going into as well, like how when the UK left the EU, right, the government promised a whole load of money because the EU was subsidizing a whole load of stuff, right? But then the government was like, you know, so then you had a load of farmers that were expecting, you know, some kind of financial help, and they ain't getting.
And that's why these men were striking and shit, man.
Yeah.
In Brussels and all these different places, man, they were leaving their tractors in the road or
On the
whatever.
road.
Because they're getting screwed,
They're
man.
getting
And the farmers are like the lifeblood of
any
societies, man. Because they provide the food that you eat.
But,
You know?
but yet their equipment is hella expensive,
Yep.
which, granted, but you know, it's a massive machinery.
Yep.
But these times we can bail out Thames Water for $2 billion,
Yep.
or £2 billion, sorry.
After they pay dividends.
After they pay dibs, right? You know, being just hella corrupt. And you're telling me you can't, the government couldn't if they wanted to.
Invest in some factors.
And be like, no, we'll do a British farming,
Yeah.
right? So it's like they own the actual factory
Yeah.
that makes the farm equipment.
And you know as well, like, even British Steel, bro. Like the steel
Yeah,
industry is another important thing for building infrastructure, schools. That's why the schools are fucked. Remember when all the schools were crazy, breaking the, because bro, the Europe don't want British Steel no more because like we're out the Eurozone and America's putting tariffs on these motherfuckers. They closed one of the biggest steel manufacturers.
I think it was Chinese owned as well.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think it was Chinese owned as well.
Jaguar Land Rover is Indian, though, isn't it?
All these British car manufacturers, Jaguar, Land Rover, Rolls Royce, they're stressing.
Yeah, well, Jaguar just said they're not a Jaguar Land Rover. Just said they're not good. They're pausing exports to the US.
Yeah,
You know. So, hey, what we're going into, and it was a beautiful precept that going to show you that our laws, because people want to, look at the Bible, be like, oh, the Bible's wicked. No, those laws seem righteous to me.
Yeah,
The poor need help, and the poor will be helped.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't defraud the poor. You got to make sure that the poor are taken care of.
Yeah.
Whereas in this world, everyone's hurt.
Well, just this month, right? All these bills went up, right? It's April, new tax year, right? And all these bills have gone up. Gas, water, electric, phone bill, broadband, all of it, right?
Oh,
And so this is eating further into money that these men don't have.
and then
You
then now what with the tariffs? What's going to happen? Prices are going to go up.
It's gonna get worse.
Oh, sure. Just on that
Oh,
point,
we gave them a pay rise though. Come on, bro. You know that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know that's not how it works, man.
Yeah.
You think people are stupid. I'll let you know that. People are stupid, right? But we're not stupid, right? It's not how it works.
well, it's fucked, bro.
And this little pittance you're offering, it doesn't equate. Oh, they're gonna be £500 better off over the year. Wow, £500 better off over the year. Fuck it out, man.
Bro, when the council tax thing, you're supposed to have so basically officially, if you raise it more than 5%, you have to have a referendum in Esau's law where you've got to get the local MP has to basically agree and then get the vote, which they're never going to do that. So what they did is every council raised it to 4.99%, and then only the desperate ones raised it to like about 10%, and then ultimately on top of that as well, you've got a situation right now in Birmingham, bro, where like the second largest city where you got rats the size of cats because the bin men are saying, yo, you ain't paying us, we're not coming to collect this shit. People are out there
which then that causes disease.
causes disease, and then there's more issues on the
more
NHS, and then
issues.
it's just a
It's
cycle.
just a cycle.
And again, this is all, you know, done on purpose, right, to collapse society.
Yeah.
Right. We saw what the farmers just a second ago, right? Because there's not profit to be a farmer, right? So who wants to go be a farmer? Nobody. These men are going to eventually just get out of the game, you know. And who's going to come and buy the land? Mr. Gates.
Yeah.
That's it. Man's like these, right? He's going to buy your land, and you know you're going to have. Oh, but we need food now, right? Oh, wait, Monsanto, come in, Monsanto. And all these different types of things because they want to control agriculture. They want to control all elements of life, right?
Yeah.
And so they're going to price you out. Right, they're gonna price you out, leave your fucking cities stinking and shitty looking, holes in the ground. Hey, America will get sinkholes and shit, bare sinkholes, right? Even you had a couple here,
Yeah.
right? That's gonna happen more and more because things ain't gonna get maintained,
Oh, the worm was spread underneath.
right? So it's just the collapsing of society that Esau's doing on purpose, man.
You know, once again, the proof of that is the fact that despite Labour being on the other end of the political spectrum compared to Trump, the same thing is happening.
Yeah, well,
I got the rest in the one you quoted. The next verse is all right. Now so Sirach 34 and 22 now says, "He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshed."
So why are we not operating like this, man? Why are we like not upholding the values in the scriptures, the laws in the scriptures? Why are we not doing that? Because these are meant to be Christian countries, man. But they don't do shit all to do with the Bible. You know, everything is about corporatism, man. And these elites, because these elites benefit of everybody, right? But these poor get screwed and pushed further into the ground to death, literally.
Yeah.
Too cold, you know what I mean? You know, can't put the heat on, man are dying. You know?
So Labour, once again, they're like, you know, the people's party, right? If you ask any of our parents, they all voted
the Union
Labour.
Party.
The Union's party. Yeah, they voted to end the winter fuel allowance.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they ended up reversing
I think
it
they
in the
had
end.
to.
Yeah.
But
They had to.
even the fact that they
Yeah.
pushed it through, where it's just like everyone knows when it's winter, a whole load of old people die
And even Pip
Every
as well.
year.
every year.
Every year.
But this is a first world country.
And even Pip as well.
Yeah,
The independent as well. They made it to it because it's a rating system. They're making it harder to score on the rating system, basically. So Pip is basically personal independent independent payments. And so if, say for example, you're a severely disabled individual, you can't bathe yourself or cook for yourself. You get asked about a series of questions and they scale you based on how severe you are. If you're
And it's not even a medical professional that asks these questions. They tell you it is. From what I've heard, they ain't actually medical professionals.
Yeah, man. And then if you score high enough, they basically will give you payments based on how severe your situation. But they're rolling because what people are doing, and all the people are playing the system. You got these young Brits here that are like, oh, I've got mental illness. I can't bathe myself because and it's demons anyway, to be honest. But some people do play this.
Some of them are just lazy straight up, but you know, some of them got walking sticks out, but they're not using them. They're just hanging off their arm like this.
You know the Romanians.
But you do have them, so I understand it from that point of view, man. But don't make it harder for those that actually have physical disabilities or mental disabilities that they can't physically work. Because my woman, she's in that category, right? Now, from hour to hour, things might change. She might be alright for a couple of hours. She might have been able to do some work, but like she can only work for me an hour or two. How good is that? She can't go travel because it's unsafe for her to travel. She might have an episode or while she's out or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's things like just because they look at you and say, oh yeah, but you seem like you're alright.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I am right now.
And then go pull up your Instagram. It looks like, hey, you
went out
to travel.
You went out, so you can go out of the house.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm looking at shops. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, come on, man.
We'll give you a special chair so you can sit on it and bring your desk.
Oh,
But
yeah.
sometimes they don't want to do none of that shit. They don't want to actually put in anything to really help you. They just want you out back to work because they don't want to pay for you no more. And that's the thing. Esau taking everything away, right? Taking everything away. If you want these things, right, you're gonna have to take the MOTB in the future, man. You want these things, right? Because everyone's gonna be put on universal basic income eventually anyway, right? Because AI is taking over, right? So you know,
I did a whole load of interior design yesterday with that AI, man.
Yeah. Hella useful, right?
Hella useful. And it got it pretty damn good. I was like, yo, I might have to go IKEA this weekend. No, real talk. And I was like, on a level.
I'm going IKEA.
On a level, I was like, right, this is something I would have had to pay
somebody to do.
like 200 quid or something, like a couple hundred quid. That's now a couple hundred quid that isn't going to someone's pocket. And got it done for free.
Even with the AI thing as well, even with the businesses, you know, when you go on Google now and you search for something and they give you the AI thing, all it does is that it scours the internet for all of these sites that people went and paid researchers and got the data and did all of that.
Someone did it for us already.
And
Breaking hella copyright.
breaking hella copyright, but it's Google, brother. So you know,
Yeah. What Sam Altman? I think it was I think it's OpenAI basically. One of their things was like, look, it just came back to, well, if we don't do it, China will.
Yeah, someone's gonna do it.
So that was their way of
Yeah, just
getting
like
around
us doing it,
copyright.
yeah.
Which goes to show you that this man is not a man of his word. And
He's not integrity. He's not integrity.
if a man's not got his word, what does he have?
oh, bro, it's nothing. No, this place is fucked. It just reminded me, yeah. Like I know, so I was this girl basically I know for off work and that, yeah, single mom, 2 kids, yeah. She just she again is on PIP herself.
Yeah.
She was living in a 3-bedroom house, and the landlord said, "I'm selling my house." So she went to the council. Council said, "Cool, we're gonna house you." She got 2 fully grown kids and herself, boy and a girl, and they said, "You're gonna take a small 2-bedroom yard." She said, "No, I'm not taking it." Said, "Well, you're effectively homeless then, but if you don't take this house, then we're gonna send the social services to take your children, and you're gonna have to basically just deal with." You know what I mean?
Where's democracy, bro?
But
got
the
no
worst
choice.
thing is, it would be more expensive for. This goes to show that this man is nothing but the devil. Because I'm pretty sure it's more expensive to send those kids into social services,
Yeah,
right? Especially, I think when you get paid quite a decent bit.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
and it's like, wait,
More than money what you earn normally.
yeah. So then you're telling me you couldn't just give that money for those children to the mum so she can get the bigger yard? But
They'll turn around and say there isn't a bigger yard
man's
because we ain't building no houses.
Man's the devil.
Because all they're building is 2-bedroom houses. They're not building nothing else.
Not even the house, 2-bedroom
Yeah,
flats.
yeah.
That.
So
Like,
what do you expect? Like only men that got money can buy bigger houses, so they're usually off the market most of the time. And the only thing that are available is these little 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom places. So if you've got more than one kid, because they're trying to control how much children you have too,
True.
they don't want you to be comfortable. They don't want you to be comfortable, man. And they always that before they used to have that rule where 2 adult, brother and sister can't share a bedroom because of a certain age or whatever, right? So they would automatically rehouse you usually.
Yeah.
They ain't trying to do that no more. They don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
All these rules, they'll happy, throw them under. But you're being made to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Squeeze.
This is Proverbs 14:20. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich have many friends.
Yeah. So these issues that everybody's feeling, it doesn't affect the elites. Ever does it affect them. They always gain from these situations. They can become better off. They buy another big fucking mansion. You know what I mean? They don't have no problems. Right?
Not in trouble as well.
And that's why I kinda like that dude
Gary Economics.
yes. Right?
Yeah, he's on point.
Yeah, I'm not sure about everything he says, but like his arguments are compelling.
Yep.
It's
like
no.
So one of the first clips of him that I watched, he made an amazing point, right? Which was basically he was able to get his first monies quite well working in finance, and it's like I think right after 2008, right? Because he basically still lived in ends, right? Whereas his colleagues lived in Chelsea, lived in these well-to-do places. So they're removed from what is happening. Whereas, so he's hearing from his colleagues and the other economists on the news saying, "Oh, everything's blessed," but then he's going back to the yard and being like, "Wait, my cousin's lost his yard. My friend, his mum's lost the yard. This, that, and the other." So he was like, "Wait, what I'm seeing isn't what is really happening." And I'll be honest, that's the kind of like the life that I live, because where I am, there ain't no food banks where I am. But there's food banks in the city for help for days.
Homeless and all types of shit.
There ain't no food banks around here. We'll go around the corner.
You know what it is as well? Economics, it does it on averages, so it doesn't take into account the distribution of wealth, which is where, so they'll say, "Oh, like Britain is worth X, Y, Z amount because there's that much money in the country," but they don't apportion that was only 10%.
Who owns the wealth though? That's the thing. We all know that the whole thing's skewed, that the 1% owns 90% of wealth.
Like economics.
This is Revelations 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Yeah, it's basically systems. They claim like they're all trying to help.
Yep.
They're all doing their own agenda.
Because why is things getting worse otherwise? if we're such an enlightened society, we know what's going on. We understand economics. We understand all these different things, right? But you're getting worse off every year, right?
Regardless
but,
of who's it.
but on the opposite end of the spectrum, these elites, they're getting better and better off. So it's working for somebody, but it's not working for most people.
Right.
And that sounds like a system made to work like that.
See the tax system itself, yeah. It's created to make money off flows of income, not assets, bro. Like that's why even in Switzerland, the reason people don't have to pay tax in Switzerland is because they got a wealth tax, but it's a low one. But the wealthy there, they get other benefits off the back of it, so that's why they're cool. But here, it's a tax system that will tax you on income when you make purchases, when you inherit shit. But if you own an asset, there's no way of taxing that. Even though they could technically create one, but they ain't trying to do that. Because ultimately, why would you do that when you make it? You know?
Precept?
That's why I say the rich get richer.
Yeah. And that's a proof of statistic. It's not, everyone knows that's the truth.
It's designed that way.
That wealth gap gets bigger and bigger. But it should be getting smaller, right? If we're so, about the poor and equality and all this stuff, things should be getting better for us, but it's not.
When it does, you make an increase in wages or whatever, they take more.
Well, yeah, they give the right hand and take the left. You know what I mean? So you're always in the same position. All the prices around you are fucking exploding.
Yeah.
And you're like thinking like, shit, man, like my shopping, I'm not getting as much for my shopping bill anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I was say on the point, you see with inflation as well, it's to do with the amount of money in the economy and then the velocity of it. So like, bro, when they had the lockdown and more money was getting pumped, inflation wasn't going up during lockdown because no one was spending money because it was just on the essentials. But when they opened it up and then people started doing the help out to eat out, eat and all of that shit, and there was money flowing, inflation went up. And then they will put your salary up here, telling you, because of inflation, we're going to increase your salary. But then you increase your salary, then you're able to spend more, and then more inflation occurs, and then they have to put your
That's
salary
what
up
I'm
again.
They say don't give them pay rise because it causes inflation or greater inflation. What are you supposed to do then? But you rigged it in such a way that that it's a circular thing. But it still does the same thing for the elites. It benefits them.
Yep.
It fucks you up, but it benefits them.
Because when all of these houses, when people start defaulting, who's buying? Because that was one of the things that they said. Because it made, I was like, right, how are house prices going up? And then you find out that no, it's actually the big institutional guys that were buying them up. You had certain people that were getting these government contracts or these loans or whatever during the lockdowns that were using that same money to go and buy properties and stuff like that. So that's why the prices kept going up.
Yeah.
Now we're legit at a point where once again, I think about this. Like you can be a top 5% earner and you can't on your own buy a house, maybe a flat. But you can't on your own buy a house in the capital. Yeah. So what does that tell you? It tells you it's unsustainable. It tells you that we're ultimately in a bubble. And when you're looking at what's happening in the world right now, looking at these flux, but I'm hoping for a Black Monday. I'm gonna put my hands up.
Yeah. And you know what also shows that as well? When you go into areas like zone 3 and 4 and 5 and that, a lot of the houses that traditionally in the 80s would have been owned by families are now HMOs. Their houses are multiple occupancy. Because when you're a landlord, you can't depend on just one family being able to pay the rent. So the safer option that you'll be advised to do is to basically divide your house up into like loads of different little settlements. So you got 5 people paying you rent rather than the one. So
and then you're earning a lot more from them as well. Hey, just put it in perspective, man. You get certain, not even like necessarily bougie parts of London, where it's just like you're paying £1,000 plus per month for a room that you got, and you still gonna share the bathroom with some next man. Still gonna share the kitchen with some next man. But we say that this stuff is normal. It's not normal. When you read our laws,
I mean, it's normal here.
it's not what
It's normal fucking here, man. I mean, it ain't the right way.
That ain't the right way.
That's not how things are supposed to be. And this is why we're so fucking angry. We're so fucking mad with this place, man. We're vexed with this place. Because there's the whole bunch of different things that's happening in this world. It's not right.
It's not right.
Right? And it needs to be changed. But Esau's not going to change it because he's the devil.
Yeah. And he ensures that to earn what they call a good wage, you could only do that here. So here it is, because once you always see every Christmas, right? All of these people, as I like saying, they all go back home to Buckinghamshire. Because they're not, a lot of them aren't actually Londoners, if you will.
Yeah.
But the town that they're from has no life. Like you meet certain Irish, man, they'll tell you that, look, man, outside Dublin, you go into certain small towns outside Dublin, you don't see anyone under the age of 20. Because as soon as they get to 20, it's like they ain't no jobs there.
Yeah.
So they then move to Dublin. Then what happens in Dublin? The house prices go up. So then maybe they're like, yeah. And you see it all over the country in the UK as well. Like certain places outside London that used to be the commuter belt, that used to be affordable, they ain't affordable anymore.
Well, in Bristol, there's man making 60K in caravan. They
Yeah,
don't,
I see that.
yeah. Because they don't want to pay the rent. That's
In Bristol, you know.
in Bristol.
It's higher outside of London, and the income's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That on purpose.
On purpose, yeah. Exactly, to pull them in.
Fuck London, the UK is an economic power of Romania, bro. Like, that's
Yeah.
fucked, bro.
Yeah, it's sustainable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Those people having a good time in this place is elite.
Yeah.
Everybody else is struggling.
Huh.
You know what I mean? And you might have people that got somewhat, a bit of money and they feel okay, but that's all going to change.
Yeah.
That's going to change. Those people with a bit of money, like, decent amount of money, they're going to feel just like the rest of the people.
I can assure you, when there are people, you see them, and then they'll put what they call it, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
They got the smile, hey, yeah, but deep down they hurt. Deep down they hurt
They
because
got, a ton of debt
they
behind
got
them.
a ton of debt. Because this is one thing I always say, man. Like you spend the money you spend the money that you have, right? So most people aren't gonna, like, for instance, this guy here with his, right? Let's say him and his wife earn 100K each, right? So they earn 200K between them. Do they get a yard that they can pay as if they earn 50K? No, they got a yard as if they earn 200K. So when mortgages were doubling, I know one guy I used to work with, his mortgage would have gone from 1.4K a month to 2K a month. Like, most people wouldn't have factored that in when they were buying a house.
Yeah.
They would have gone as far as they could, like, conceivably
At
go
the time, yeah.
at the time. So when you're seeing all of these house prices go up, and not house prices, interest rates go up, which means your mortgage rates go up. Well, you're then seeing gas go up, water go up, council tax go up, inflation go up, all of those things. You're hurt.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter that you earn a 200K between you and your wife, because you live like you earn 200K.
Yeah, because it's not like you're earning 200K and now you're earning 250.
Yeah.
Your wage is not going up as fast as all of that. So you're now at the edge of shit.
Yeah.
Having to borrow money or extra money to or remortgage something or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Yeah.
How many millionaires driving a Fiat 500? Keep it, bro. Like, nah, if you're a millionaire, you drive a car like you're a millionaire, innit? You got yourself, the wife may have the little small thing because you don't trust her.
She don't anyway. She ain't an enthusiast. She's going to the shops.
Exactly. Whereas you, huh?
No one.
But you get what I'm saying. But I bet the front of the yard is nice. But when you look at the yard's nice though, right? You got
This book of Proverbs 28:8. He that by usual and unjust gain increases his substance,
Yeah.
he shall gather it for him that will feed the poor.
Because like I said, all these it's just the agenda of these, man. WF, they're taking everything from you, right? They want to own everything. You have to go to them. They're going to divvy out what they deem fit to you. You owe nothing, and supposedly you're going to be happy about it. But no one's happy now. Why are they going to be happy to own nothing? Because all their needs are going to get taken care of.
Well, one of the things.
Really?
One of the things I remember looking into with the one of the things Elon Musk said was, with the Neuralink, right, we can help solve depression.
So it doesn't even matter. Well, man, you're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're dead inside, but but the device is keeping you smiling.
But that's that movie Equilibrium.
Yeah.
But they said they were injecting themselves or taking pills or whatever to shut off their emotions, man.
Or like that Get Out, where the guy's all smiling, but he's hurt inside.
So the version of the world of the future that they've got for you isn't one that you would want, right? But you're being sold it as if it's going to be fine. These men know what they do. We trust Elon, right? No. bro, you want to be enslaved like you've never been. Like I'm gonna do Trump. You're being enslaved like you've never been enslaved before.
Slavery like
You'll be trapped in your own fucking mind, man. Imagine that. You know why they're like the Matrix, like they're running like batteries, bro. You know what I mean? You know, and like I said, they don't want all these people on the planet anyway.
Yeah.
So they don't give a shit about your living standards, man.
And the proof of that is the clients. Like when I look at certain of the whole thing about what they call it, man, fertility rates, right? You can see that this man has an agenda because even when you look at the UK fertility rate's terrible. It's just we've got immigration and the immigrants are the one having the babies, right? And it's just like that. This should be like a national emergency. You know, even like when you look at them Asian countries, Japan, Korea, right? That should be like Korea. They've got 3 generations left.
Yeah, they went in hard, man, and now they need children.
Yeah.
Because before China had that one
child policy, yeah.
Now they need more children.
Yeah, now they've got a lopsided demographic where you've got a lot of old people,
and then
but not enough young.
to maintain.
Exactly.
You gotta care for them.
So guess what they going to do?
What smart dude figured out, thought about that plan? I get it. You was overpopulated at one point because you couldn't, feed all your people or whatever the case may be. But there needs to be a balance to it, right?
Yeah. Because because as always, what do you, if you can only have one child and you're a rural nation as China was at that time, right? A daughter is useless to you, which is why a lot of them would then abort their daughters, right? To then have, which sounds a lot like the plans that the elites are down with anyway, right? So be like, okay, I'm having a daughter, abort the daughter. Okay, now I have a son.
Well, I'm about to say the same thing. Now you can, gene your child CRISPR and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You could pick the eye color and all kind of shit.
Yeah.
This is Esau's world, man. It's a dark fantasy, bro, for him. It's a seriously dark fantasy, but he's gonna try and sell it to you like it's something really great.
The dog legit looked like he looked as if he was trying to read the sign. Like he was kind of.
The owner was pulling it. He was like, no. Your dogs always come up. Like, they know, man. Caleb and that.
He's a beast.
Yeah, I got one, but
Oh, you got hold as well?
yeah. This is Revelation 16 and 14. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Shai.
Right, Esau's technology seems like a miracle to everybody, man, because it's doing fascinating things, right? It's doing things that don't seem, normal, right? Yeah, akin to spiritual power type things, right?
Yeah.
And this is Esau's version of it.
Yeah.
But it's just inferior overall.
Because you mentioned CRISPR, I forgot the name of the documentary. It was on Netflix, right? But it was going into the CRISPR, and he basically made with the CRISPR what they were able to do. This child had a degenerative eye disease, and like he had lost his vision, and with the CRISPR he regained vision. And I was like, yo, in the eyes of this, that's a miracle. I mean, that's a miracle.
Because that's akin to the Most High forming you in the belly.
Yeah.
Like he make the Most High forms you in the belly, creates you what you're, everything's gonna, what your makeup's gonna be essentially. With the genetics that's there between your mother and father, whatever he creates you as what you're gonna be, right? Esau can intervene and change things.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm going up now. I'm going up.
Yeah.
I can manipulate Most High's creation, right? Because he's that bugged out. You know what I mean? He's that crazy. He thinks he's on design, right? But these are miracles in the sense that they are like, that's like good. They got God level powers type shit.
Yeah.
So he actually believes he's on that level now, but he's really not, because he's still a mortal man, and no man can retain the spirit.
Yeah,
Most High is the father of spirits.
That's it.
So you're not in a position to really be that person, man.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 28 from the top says, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, which in modern day Prince of Tyrus represented by this Edom. Because thine heart is lifted up, right? That's the proof. Proud. Right? It says, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
Because they're closing in on all the things that the Most High is able to do, or has done. Like not all of them, because he can't, but because he thinks he's starting to be able to do those things that the Most High is in control of, man. He thinks he's on that level, man. Like he's made himself a God by doing this, because of his intellect, right? But you forget the Most High gave you that knowledge, right? The only issue is he's giving you knowledge on the left hand side, because you don't know how to use any of this stuff righteously. You know, he's like, you got the fruit, the fruit of the tree of evil. You know, that's what you've got. But you haven't got the completion. You don't know how to deal with things properly. That's why you bring destruction.
know that Bill Gates, I believe, he's bringing, on the forefront now, like, to spray gas on the sky to block the sky. The sun is there. That's destroying the ecosystem and everything.
That's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, they'll say destroy him that destroys the earth. Like nothing that he's done has really been that productive for the planet and for the people on it. But like I say, things have gotten worse, not better. And we're meant to believe this is an enlightened age, where we're we're living in some great future. We're not.
Men and women can't even have a basic relationship anymore. Like that, and that's just like the base levels of a society. And men and women don't even know how to talk to each other anymore.
Yeah.
Like there was something that came out, like most men under, I forget what age, have never spoken to a woman in person. Gone up to be like, hey, how you doing? Whatever, what have you. Right, which weren't necessarily doing that in the intro, but it's just that sense of people don't even have regular interactions anymore. You know, that's why you get all of these pop the balloons and all of this nonsense. It's like, yo, this is some crazy pop the balloon. Pop the balloon. And the thing is, it's like, once again, showing you that people don't understand. It's like all women are followers. We all know this. In a group, you got a group of women, right? They're all gonna agree with each other, right? That's just their nature.
I don't like his pants.
And you again, and what you say are the reasons? You're like, this is why you're supposed to be in subjection.
That's why she has to have a father, bro. Bro, one woman said to her man, I saw one of the clips there. She said, "You look like a man that I'm a wonder." I mean, yeah, man, that's of course. I mean, yeah, man, that's got a bit of about him. And I was like, you want a fucking degenerate?
Yeah, you want some drug dealer, bro. That's what you want. You know, you're gonna end up in jail together and shit. You're gonna smuggling drugs and
Bonnie
shit.
and Clyde.
Yeah, like, you idiots, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they like romanticizing that story as an example. But yo, did you see that car?
romanticizing demonic shit? You know what I mean?
Demonic shit.
No?
Slut, did you see the car after them two got caught, blood? Bruh. And that's what you're aspiring to.
Like everyone wants a damn B, bro. You know what I mean? They want to put your back. Right? Everyone wants that, right? Because that's what we should have your back, right? But not in degeneracy, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Degeneracy doesn't help. It just makes it for sad anyway.
Yeah, this is bro. See the snow bunnies that got caught with the snow, well, not snow, the 150K worth of
These two girls, yeah.
You see it? Two Essex issues or wherever they were from. Edomites, they got caught with marijuana, 150 grand. And then the judge was like, we're just going to give them suspended sentences.
Wow.
Listen, he said, basically, during the 15-month trial, they went through enough mental strain. So we're going to give them
four Edomite chicks.
But then these are their boyfriends' dads will be the same ones that will go out and be like, these blacks are so violent, that's why they fill up the prison. But then these times their daughters can get away with
150 pounds worth of drugs, bro. The woman said, yeah, I don't know how that got in.
But you know what? It's getting easier for them to do that because the prisons are full anyway. Yeah. So they got any reason not to send them now, I guess. If you're a Jake, you're definitely going. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Anytime to save a Becky, right?
The story you said the brother was saying before we started up.
Which one?
About how basically the Jake, he basically the Bulgarian, he just walked, bumped the ticket because it was late for work.
Yeah.
It was late for work, so he just goes through the barrier and then basically ends up with a record, man. They're all right up on his shit. But then he's like, you said 150 or 150 grand?
150 grand.
150,000
British pounds, bro.
I mean, that's intent to sell.
Of course. Bro, intent to sell. They're British are trying to set up an empire, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you. But what is it? Market turn. This ain't our rest, man. This ain't our world, man.
Well, you can go leave and buy a house.
Yeah. Jake wants to be black British. Fuck all that. This world ain't for us, man.
That's right. Yeah, brother. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 10 and 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Is this government well ordered? No. Bro, it's all over the fucking place. And you know, America's the same. It's all over the place, right? That's why it's beef. There's constant beef between the two political parties, man. You know. And so no, this is not a well governed correctly or righteously. It's not, right? And we can't be convinced otherwise. You people might think one side is better than the other side, evidently it's not.
Yeah.
The evidence points that no, they're all just all fuck ups, man. They're all destroying this place. You know, people are going further and further into degeneracy, and like we was talking about the flamers at the beginning, it's like like I said, they're allowing all these things just to happen. You know, and not even let it happen, they're promoting it to happen. You know, all the things that they're doing, they're promoting it. You know,
That problem solution.
yeah, exactly, because they want the chaos, they want the instability, so they can act on it. They have to cause the situation to act on it, right? For a reason why they need to be so harsh with it. You know, be draconian as we go. You know, as spoken about. Because the thing is, as time goes on, the worse things are going to get, and the stronger hand these governments are going to have to use. Right? It's set up to do that. You know.
This is Psalms 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Revelation 12:12. Yeah. So
Psalms 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
right, because people are blind, because the world is in darkness. Right. And this is why we're very lucky.
Yeah.
In this world, right? The Lord have given us the light, right, to be able to see all the bullshit that goes on. You know, we've been taken out of the world to be able to see all of its hypocrisy, all of its wickedness, right? To see the plans and schemes of the wicked. You know,
Yeah.
so when these things happen, we know exactly what the game is, and so we're not taken by surprise. Everybody else is going to be taken as a thief in the night, right? But everything that's going to be going on, people are not going to be expecting it or really prepared for it. You know, and they're not going to equate these things to end time prophecy. They just think, oh, this is just part of the course of history. And in a sense, it is, but they don't understand history is going to be controlled by the Heavenly Father.
If I can add real quick to fun, like you be seeing all of these freak weather events that are happening all over the world. It's like constantly, it's the worst hurricane this country's ever had, the worst forest fire it's ever had, the worst this it's ever had. Unprecedented. Look, constantly the same narrative, but because godlessness, people vendetta, right? Because of godlessness, people. Because of godlessness, people just sit here, oh, that's global warming. Whereas, like, yeah, okay, it could be, Esau, this machine, but ultimately, these are all judgments of the Lord, right? Judgments of the Heavenly Father.
These are not coincidences.
Yeah.
You know, Esau might want to put the blame on one thing because he doesn't want to acknowledge the Heavenly Father. You know, because the fool have said in his heart there is no God, and he wants to convince everybody else that there's no God, that He is God. Right? So he needs to replace the Most High. So there's no God in his eyes other than himself. You know, he's the one that can predict the weather and all this shit. You know, whatever, man. Do a terrible job at it anyway. Every time I check my app, it's always fucking pissing me off. Right? But yeah, so it's not a coincidence. The Most High has this time, this time happening as it's supposed to, man. So whether the earth is warming up, who gives a fuck? Like, that is not the ultimate reason why these things are happening. Right? The judgment of the Lord is ultimately why it's happening. So whether the Lord's heating up the earth, he's got the earth on a frying pan, he's heating it up. It's like, melting the ice caps or whatever. Who the fuck knows, isn't it, right? But the Most High is on only making this all happen.
Because he's going to heat it up real good, real soon.
That's right.
That's right.
So them ice caps are going to go anyway.
It's the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, 39 and 28. Say what? Let's start from 28. They are the spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on so strongly.
Right? The angels in the heaven, man, are waiting for the day to come down and destroy this place, man. They're all waiting. They're all waiting to, be given the green light to come down here and wreak havoc. It's not saying that they're not coming down now and doing certain things. En masse, they're going to come down and end this place, man.
Yes, that was present on the wake of Messiah. Fire saying on fire, wildfire, and this weapon,
Hurricanes.
High marks.
Yeah. Listen as well.
And I said, we praise Heavenly Father for all that stuff, man. Like we don't like, oh my God, it's terrible. No, it's part of judgment, man. Right? These things need to happen. Our enemies need to be taken out.
That's right.
Right? And so the Lord's bringing judgment against all these different nations, man. So we always applaud and praise Yahweh Hashem Yahshai in bringing these judgments, man. Because we know we're closer into those times, man. You know, because none of you people are innocent anyway. So why are we going to feel sorry for you? You know what I'm saying?
In the time of destruction, they pour out their posts and they appease the wrath of him that made them.
Who made them? Who made these spirits of vengeance and wrath? Heavenly Father. Whether they be on the left hand side or right hand side or the left hand side, right? The Most High is the one that creates them. Satan is a part of the left hand team. You know what I'm saying? The captain of the left hand team, right? So whoever it is, whoever the Lord decides to use in an event, right? There's Most High is one behind it. You know? Yep.
Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
And is that what the Lord's bringing? Vengeance. And so the question is, why is he bringing vengeance? Who's the vengeance for? What's the revenge about? Like, if there's no beef on the earth, like everyone's just equal, right? Everyone, all you got to do is to believe in the Lord, and everyone say, "What's this revenge about? Why has he got revenge? Got vengeance against somebody?" And this is why I keep telling you, man, this book is not a book of the world, man. It's not a book for the world. It's a book for Israel, because Israel is the one that's had injustice done to them, and this is why the Lord is bringing vengeance or bringing revenge for His people. Right? He ain't bringing revenge for the Edomites. What for? He ain't bringing revenge for the Moabites. What for? Why would he be bringing vengeance for these dudes? You don't make no fucking sense, right? Exactly. So why would these words be used? Vengeance and revenge and all these types of things. Avenge. It's because there's a specific people that's been something done to them, right? Something wrong been done to them. The Lord is having to avenge them. That's why it's got nothing to do with you heathens, man.
People, what beast and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked destruction.
But all these are judgments and punishments for the wicked. You know? And so again, we will praise Yahweh Shem all day long when these things happen, man. Because like I said, we're just getting closer to the end. And we're tired of this place, man. So the quicker it comes, the better for us, man. You know?
Like even with that Thailand situation, it was like a thief in the night, as the Lord described. There were scenes of people on living luxurious lifestyles in these indoor swimming pools, and all of a sudden, one minute man was lounging in the pool, the next minute he's falling off a skyscraper, bro. Like the Lord will do that.
You know what I always find crazy though? Like it just wouldn't be me in it, but when some of these towers are falling down, man were filming it, bro. Like I know for a fact if this tower's coming down, I don't want to be here, bro. I ain't gonna be filming the thing, bro. I'm gonna be going as far away as possible, man. Man, I'm still filming the thing, like why are you here? You're gonna die, bro. Man's running up and down the thing with his phone, bro. Why is the phone out?
One guy was running there, he turned around.
I'm like, no, bro, you need to get out of here, man. Hey, hey, bro. It's dumb. Yeah,
I mean, I've been comfortable for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Everything for them is like, I mean,
This is this social media age, bro. It's bugged people out, bro. They don't understand the danger that they're in. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, we'll just film it. Oh, someone's dying, get stabbed, yeah, we'll just film it. All right? Yeah, why don't you ring the police or ring an ambulance or something, man? Just, nah, we'll just film it. Oh, no, oh, I might get stabbed. Oh, I don't, anything could happen. You're just there filming it. Ridiculous, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah. Live cast.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. I'll start from 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
Scripture say the righteous are scarce make it, right? Even a man like Ezra, who was chosen of the Lord, man, was scared. Wondering how he was going to even get out of this predicament, man.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be so dreadful. Even though the Most High reassured him that, man, you're part of my chosen. But even he had to think, wow, that's kind of messed up, man. How are we going to be delivered from such a thing? Yep.
It says, great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
And evil was growing, man. Evil was growing in the earth, man. So technically, we're kind of still in the beginning of it. But these things are growing, man, exponentially. The mourning is growing. Death is growing. The famines. Yeah, we might be all right here in this part of the world and that kind of stuff in the West, man. But the famines have been growing all over different places, and soon it's going to find its way over to the West. You know, to hell with all that. What happened during the pandemic, man? We couldn't buy toilet paper and shit. That's minor compared to, what's going to be happening. There's literally going to be no food on the fucking shelves, man.
Yeah.
And to the point where you got to be begging your governments, man, like to help you, to save you. You ain't gonna be getting on little fucking box of goodies, oranges and shit, bread and all that shit. You're gonna be begging, man, to save your lives, man, because you're gonna be that fucked up, like the man in Egypt during the 7 years of famine. They were begging them to save them, to provide for them. And at that moment, when Esau's got you in that position, man, that's when he's gonna offer you, man, the ultimatum. You can take this MOTB then. Yeah, when you're weak.
Yeah. But even in that example, they sold themselves onto Pharaoh.
Go on, finish.
But yeah, and Esau was gonna, he want food, I'm gonna chip you, man, make that blood open.
Because what did Satan do when he came to Yahweh Shai when he was fasting? He tempted him, right? He tempted him because he was hungry, right? And Yahweh Shai turned back and said to him, man shall not live by bread alone. But these people ain't got that type of spirit, man.
Yeah.
So they're going to give up all their liberties, everything,
Oh,
yeah, just to get some bread, to get some food, man. Yeah,
yeah.
And that's going to be the end for you guys, man.
Says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish.
The plagues, the pestilences, right? The disease X. That's in, that's in the works.
Oh, shit.
That's what's waiting, lurking around. Lurking, right? It's lurking around the corner.
Man, got that store somewhere.
Man, I'm talking about it like he knows him. Man knows disease X.
At least the XP.
Yeah. But the plagues, they're increasing.
Yeah.
We just had a major pandemic, right? Even though it just,
And then
a bit more than it might be less than the flu, but it's a major thing, a worldly thing that happened, right? Global thing, right? If that hasn't happened, I don't know, in my lifetime anyway. I don't know about no global pandemic.
No.
But there's more to come, and they're telling you there's more to come.
When the next pandemic happens.
And the WHO, they're getting ready. They're telling you, we got to act harder and faster next time. And they were even considering giving more power to them, man. So the governments don't really get to decide what kind of policy they're going to take, but who are going to decide what they should take, because it's health and safety now, right? And that's going to trump what the governments people are doing, because there's misinformation and all that shit, right? So the WHO are going to tell you what you need to do. That's what they're talking about, man, giving them more power.
And they put in laws now where you can actually have the boys in blue turn up at your door and just arrest you for so-called medical misinformation. They can arrest you based on aggressive statements on the internet, but also for basically what they deem as providing false information as facts. Like, so they're tightening the laws, bro. Like,
You see like videos of them actually doing it. Like I think there was one guy in Russia, always like a while back, but various places where you make a statement on Facebook or something like that, and then you can just come and break it through the doors, and just pull people out. They got certain cases, but they want it, worldwide.
The worst thing is, man, the police are not fact finders, bro. Yeah. That's not their role. They do investigations on like local shit, you know what I mean, or whatever. They're not fact finders to know what the truth is. They get told what the truth is, and you have to run with that narrative.
yeah, right.
Like, so what do they know what the truth is? They don't know what the truth is.
Yeah.
They're there to uphold what they've been told. Right? They work for the international bankers. They don't work for the public. They're not going to sit there and find out for a matter of fact what the truth is. They ain't going to do that. But they're going to enforce the law that the governments are pretending to enforce, which is not the same thing. So you might say it's misinformation or something, and yeah, it might not be true. It's the truth. Some things you hear, it's just bullshit. It's straight up, yeah. But then there's some things which have come out to be true, which were true then at the time it's been said. There's just no evidence or no hardcore evidence or something. But you might arrest the man anyway because it's not the same as the narrative that the government's pushing, which is what it's been like. The channels getting taken down, all that shit. But a lot of that stuff with the Fauci and that, well, it turned out to be true, didn't it? Right? And that's why Biden had to give man exemption or whatever, give him the pardon. so Trump couldn't come after him. But he wasn't going to do that anyway. Just like he didn't come after Hillary. Bullshit, man. But yeah, because he was found out to be a down force.
So Psalms 94 and 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee,
which premise mystify their law.
Mystery by law. They decree unrighteous decrees. Right? So that's all these places up do. What it does is uphold Esau's commandments, essentially, these wicked decrees. It ain't about the truth at the end of the day. It's whatever he says is the truth. Right? And you know what's funny about these news places, right? You know they make you pay for to access certain news articles and stuff like that, yeah. And they'll give you a whole message at the bottom. Oh yeah, we're asking you for donations and blah 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 because we need to combat misinformation and blah 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 this and that. But yeah, but you're part of this shit, brother. What do you mean? Like we're gonna pay you to make sure you get the right news, right? But you're a part of this damn. You know what I mean? You're a part of the problem. You know, because they want to combat these other alternate news outlets. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like saying all these alternative news outlets is correct. You know, but they do offer a different perspective, right? That you should consider. You know, because you're not going to get the whole truth from any one place. That is just the truth, right? The truth is always going to be somewhere in between these things, right? But you have to use discernment, man, and that's what the Spirit provides. The Spirit provides discernment, man. Whether it's things that is likely to be true or not, because at the end of the day, a lot of things that we can go speak about there isn't going to be evidence for it, because he's going to hide that. He's not going to admit it, because you're expecting the devil to say, yeah, that's what I did. The devil's never going to just do that. He's going to lie. He's going to lie, and he's supposed to lie. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. They're going to lie. The governments are going to lie to you. I can't even say that. You know what I mean? I can't even just say that. But the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and the wicked do lie. You know this for a fact. Esau is a liar. All right. So what should we be expecting? The truth? Of course not. You have to question what he's saying then, and so you have to use different means to be able to figure out shit. That's just being prudent.
Yeah, like what is happening in the East right now? The bombing of the Gaza Strip.
They've got a particular narrative. You know, do you believe wholeheartedly what they're saying? Oh man, can't.
And that's why you're speaking about discernment, because we understand, the world don't understand, but we do, through the Spirit, that whatever we see, it has to line up with prophecy. Like if
the scriptures is the anchor to the truth, because it is the truth, man. And so you have to disseminate all this information to figure out what's going on. Because if it coincides with what's going on in the scriptures, man, then that's probably what's really happening. You know, when if it's going contrary to it, then that's just a smoke screen. You know, oh yeah, these men are going to make a peace deal. Yeah, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, nuclear proliferation treaty. Oh yeah, there's no more war. All right, cool, innit? Believe that. You know, that might be just for a time, but we know where it's going to end up. Because this is where we're going. Because look at it now. There's no love between Russia and Europe and America. We're not beefing, bro. You know, and they're just not going down there with a US versus a Russia thing yet. It's not that official yet, but it's gonna get there. Russia was already threatening. I think they're threatening the US if they do anything to Iran.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
Because Israel is doing so fucking crazy, so much craziness. Iran could be going to do something soon. You know, but if they retaliate, or if they retaliate against Israel, right? Then America's almost gonna have to jump in. Because Trump ain't gonna sit there because he's in bed with them, right? So he got a tight with them, right? So he's gonna jump in. But Putin saying, yeah, if you do something to Iran, there's gonna be grave consequences. So we know how this is gonna work out, how it all plays out in the end, right? We just we have to watch the steps to it unfold. You know,
Spirit of prophecy.
that's right. That's right.
Isaiah 33:6, foundation scriptures. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation.
Yeah, we're not scared. We're not bugged out. We know exactly what's going to happen. We're prophets. All right? We're prophets. We know. Yeah, prophets that do that, right? So we're not scared. We're not concerned. Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be intense.
But it's necessary.
But we're not going to be dissuaded by, all these fears, all these smoke screens that he supply. Nothing's going to, dampen our faith in what's going to happen.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, when you read Ezra was when he received the vision of the end time, he was afraid.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the same to us when we see these things happen. It's gonna be in a sense like you're afraid, but like there's hope.
But we're told to be joyful when these things take place. Even during the persecutions, to be happy because the Lord is doing these things for us.
Yes.
Ultimately. So all this destruction and chaos that's going on ultimately is going to benefit us in the long term. Like I say, it might be intense and you might be like, you know, the flesh is gonna be talking to you, innit? Like, oh shit, man, fuck,
Yeah.
flesh is gonna be talking to you like that. But we know in the spirit, man, that this all ends in our favor.
That's what Lord set the example. How I said the perfect example. He was profited more than any other man, and he brought our iniquity on him.
Yeah.
You can think when you're going through it, hey, my Lord went through it.
Yeah.
You know? But even in the book of Acts, I think it's the 5th chapter, when the apostles were called, and he said, did we not tell you right straightly not to teach in this name? They beat them, and then they left them, and the apostles were even more rejoiced that they come
Some persecution.
ashamed.
Yeah, but shy.
They're vision the end, you know, because they're gonna the end is gonna be glorious.
That's right.
The persecution of the suffering that we're going through now, yet we're not.
Yeah, this was never gonna be easy for us, man. But it's gonna be damn sure worse for you lot. It's gonna be worse for the world, man. You know, because we were receiving that judgment prior to the judgment. You know, that's what Scripture tells us, man. That we suffer persecutions so that we're not judged with the world.
Yeah.
You know, because what your world are gonna go through is far worse than what we're gonna go through, man.
This is the book of Thessalonians 5 and 1. Say, oh, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfect that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
So we know it's gonna come fast. It's gonna come quick. It's gonna come hard, right? And these people out here that are not expecting it, they're gonna be taken by surprise, right? But it says that you know, though. We know that's gonna happen. So how is it gonna? It's not gonna take us by surprise. We already know, right? So we're not gonna, feel like everything's okay just because it's a nice sunny day today. That everything's okay, you know. There's nothing to be worried about. No, these people should be worried about everything. Their life's about to turn on their head soon, man.
Yeah, might start Monday.
Life's not Monday. You know, there's a lot of things these men should be concerned about,
Bullshit.
but they're so ignorant. Yeah, majority of people are so ignorant, man. They just don't understand what's going on, right? So everything's gonna take them by surprise, and they'll be holding their head like, "Why is this happening?" You know, but you should be listening to us. You know,
will be the wise virgins, because even in layman's terms, like in a marriage ceremony, if you're a guest here, you might just think, oh, just because the bride came out and the groom came out, everything's on track. But like, if you're the one that's planning the shit, you know there's supposed to be mad logistics in the background. Who's supposed to be getting prepared? Shit's supposed to be happening. So we like, even though things seem on the surface, we know like, yo, shit, but shit's popping up in the Middle East, and it could have geopolitical effects here, and you're thinking on that type of level.
Yeah.
Aligned to the scriptures.
One thing elder one of the elders always says is like we are almost in an echo chamber, because we speak to each other, and if we are speaking to people in the world, for the most part they're kind of on, they're actually like chatting to them. For the most part, kind of people we chat to might know a thing or two, right? But the majority of these people have no clue what's going on. You ask them about something, you might even ask them from a particular country. Oh, you heard about that things that's going on in your country? What? You know more about their own, and of course for us, because it's of geopolitical importance that we know these things, right? But it's like most people in this world, they just Arsenal play today.
I was talking to one Thomas Benjamin. He said, oh, Russia and America, what, Trump and Klitschko?
Mad.
And I said, yo, I
Mad.
said, yeah, big man, yeah. I said, Trump
He's fucking Ukrainian, bro. I mean,
I said, bro, I
jokes.
said, all right, my guy. Yeah, man. I said, Klitschko, yeah, man, the president of Russia, bro. Yeah, man.
Hey, maybe proper sack.
I said, yeah, bro.
That's mad.
Bro. Well, you asked
You
us,
might have said Ivan Drago. I fucking rock you.
you asked us study about where Bias Cartel is. He's gonna tell you, yeah, man.
I'll
He's
tell
gonna
you
tell
all the break.
He's gonna tell you.
Which goes to show you that,
authority.
which goes to show you that people do have the time. And that's one of the things I love about the whole lockdown situation, because at that point, no one could use time as an excuse, right? The truth was out there, man. People had the time.
Oh, bro, 24 hours.
24 hours they getting paid.
Out there, it was in the house. You
It's
know what
in
I
the
mean?
house.
It's everywhere. You know, because we're still going out. Yeah, we couldn't be in public as we used before, because we had to do the whole fucking 6 meters thing and smaller groups and that kind of shit. We had to do all that. We still went out. So police still, come and bother us from time to time or whatever. We're still out there. So you can consume something on YouTube. You know?
Bro.
So, yeah, everyone's had an opportunity, man. And everybody openly knows about us.
That's right.
They just don't believe us, and that's fine because you're not meant to.
Yeah. And they no longer have a cloak for their
Yeah,
sins.
man. Like
You know?
Mike Nichols said, man. We are the future
Mhm.
champions.
We're not here to convince everybody.
Yeah.
Like we have to. Our mission is to convince very little of you, right? So
That's it.
we're not even stressed.
Mhm.
We're not even fussed that you don't believe.
Yeah. And even then, it's sort of like if you get it, you get it. It's not even the worst thing. It's not even of yourself.
Mm.
It's whether the Most High wants you it has ordained you, to be woken up anyway.
But we ain't gonna take a plane journey to where did man go? Iowa.
Kenya.
Kenya. Yeah, I said Haiti. I said Haiti in one of my videos. I said by accident.
Yeah.
But Kenya, they went to.
happened.
I live in Haiti too. But yeah, the man were in Kenya,
Really?
right? Because they figured that they got to go out there to get the election in Kenya, right? Because they man are Israel.
Yeah.
Right? But look how that turned out.
Yeah. Scriptures talk about prudence, man. It's sort of like before you go certain places, you need to know the laws of that land. Sort of like let's say you like would they really be going out there to Saudi Arabia in the corner?
Oh no.
Yeah. They just can't put it past. That's the word I'm thinking.
Yo, you know,
Like you are
But this is the thing. This is the gimmicks. This is the continuation of the
100%.
gimmicks, right? Because at the end of the day,
100%.
we're not really the workhorse of this truth. We're tools, yeah, but the Most High is really doing the work. Or waking people up. We don't do that.
That's it.
We just teach. That's what we commanded to do, right? But the Most High is on waking them up. So regardless if we're in a particular location or not, the elect are always going to get woken up eventually. Exactly, right? Because this world does go out throughout the whole world through the internet. It does do that. So the need for us to be in these different locations isn't all that great, to be honest. You know?
If I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Bo, because I know that's your regions and that. But ain't Kenya like near Tanzania and all of them? So it's sort of like, but you got the brother out there in Tanzania,
Yeah, there's cabins out there.
you know? Australia and them places there.
So, but them men are there. They didn't travel there. You know what I mean? That's because the word got out there already.
Exactly, organic. I
You know?
believe one of the elders as well. He came across the True Fast Station in Japan or something like that.
But But the thing is, like, they're just desperate to add numbers to their congregation, so they can pay tithes. That's all. It's all business. All everything that he's doing is business, man. Ain't nothing to do with the truth.
They want to be glorified.
Yeah, he wants
Yeah,
because
of
that's
men.
it. Nick's got good money already, right? He wants to get more money though. He wants to hold bigger Passovers and whatever, man. He want to do it bigger. He want to be the next, major Christian pastor or whatever. Yeah, like with TD Jakes or these man. You know what I mean? Mega churches. That's what I bet that's his ambition, man. That's what he wants to be. Grand Nate. Yeah.
It's back in 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Right? Because the majority of people are not going to listen. The majority of people are not going to repent. Right? Because they're beyond repentance. The Lord hasn't chosen them for repentance. They can't repent. So they're not going to repent. Right? They're going to stay proud. They're going to stay ignorant. And do what they always do what they want to do. Right? Which is a problem because that's what led us to the situation in the first place. Doing what we wanted to do is led us to our demise. Right? So you're going to die in those sins. Right? Because you refuse to repent. And that's how the program is supposed to be. And we can't alter that. Can't change that. We can't make Israel believe. That's not our role in this, man. Okay, we're here because we've woken up, right? And now because we've woken up, we've been commanded to teach. And so we teach. We haven't got to worry about where the elect are. The elect will find us. They will find us. And whoever needs to be, whoever needs to be wherever they need to be, the Most High will arrange it, man.
They'll let you get a quick understanding as well, like so.
Yeah, there's no wrestling required or running down the street required. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna believe. They're gonna believe you. Some brothers, they might have take time to kind of soak in, but they're not being major adversarial. They're just asking a lot of questions because they're trying to establish their own faith in it.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna straight out just fight you and argue against every point that you make. If they can't just get around the fact the Lord don't love everybody, that's the problem. Or they don't believe the Lord is a so-called dark-skinned man, or so-called black man. Then there's going to be issues because they got a mental block. The Most High given that darkness, man, that veil, they can't see it. You know. Go on. Yeah. Go on.
This is the book of Luke 4 and the 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Most High. Lo, thy sons come, who thou sentest away, they come gathered.
Who are his sons? The Israelites. He sent us away into the hand of our enemies. That's where we are now, right? We don't run this country. I know you got conservative black ones right now. Yeah, but questionable. You know,
nice name. Bro.
but we don't rule this world. We don't rule this country. We don't set the policies. Quite evidently, because the poor will set their own policies to make themselves rich, right? Or better off at least. You know, but that's not what's happening, right? So we don't run nothing. We're in the hands of our captors. We haven't moved. We haven't left.
Yep.
You know.
They come together from the east to the west.
Because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's why this word is to be taught in all nations. Oh, all right. Yep.
By the word of the Holy One.
By the word. This word is the most fundamental thing. We don't have to do nothing special with this word to draw the elected.
No gimmicks.
No gimmicks. Right? We just speak it. That's all we gotta do, is speak it. And they'll understand.
Rejoicing in the glory of Most High.
Right? And that's all we're commanded to do, really. To preach to those souls, man. You know? So our mission is not a complicated one.
Yeah.
Easy. It's not a complicated one. Yes, you got to enjoy. Yeah, you got to keep the faith. You know, suffer persecution. You got to do all that stuff. But it's not a complicated thing.
Yeah. Sorry, but I have a good point as well. The scripture says also it's good to be persecuted for the sake of righteousness.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not preaching the Lord's name, and then suffer for the tear gas,
You didn't suffer persecution.
you're not suffering. You're not, man.
Just your own stupidity.
You know?
And that's a good point. If I can add to the brother, that's a good point that the brother just made there, because you get certain people that are just straight out doing the wrong thing.
Innit?
They're straight out doing the wrong thing, but it's I'm being persecuted
Yeah.
for the Lord.
Innit?
Nah, nigga. Like, remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
He was, I'm catching. I was like, nah, bro, you're committing adultery. That's why these things are happening.
You gotta say it to a person, because they're gonna get upset.
Innit?
Like, I can't just say, like, if I've got a person that I know and he's going for bad shit, I'm like, yeah, you fucked up somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, you go see your Christopher Lord and that. I can't say it because the man get upset.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like he ain't like he innocent.
Bro, the funniest thing about that video was, cause I don't feel sorry for them. I'm not, cause they call us say we touch kids.
Yeah.
They constantly bear false witness, and even aside from us personally, they don't exalt those names. So I mean, you know what I mean. But then these are the same people that, you know, yeah, we did a good video on the Lord's name, but now 2025, the Lord's name don't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Not to bring up for the third time today, but it's like, you know, the house of David, right?
Yeah,
When Goliath,
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to repeat, but when he basically says, "I curse the,
Yeah,
you know, your God." And that's like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
acting like
You know
what?
what I'm saying?
You don't fucked up exactly.
No, that's what I-
These times, these man ain't putting reverence on the name.
Those names, bro. You know what's crazy? Like, you know when he was doing his jog,
Yeah,
and he was holding the 4K
Yeah, the camera.
camera in his hand.
yeah.
He was doing it. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making is, man, it's like that's what happens when you don't.
And
exalt,
you know what? I'm sure, right? Because them officers, they were talking to man
Yeah.
while they were talking, and I'm sure they were telling them, man, you can't be doing this. You know, whatever they were saying to them,
Yeah.
but they were being stubborn.
Yeah.
They were being stubborn.
We've done
Because
that
they
so
could
quickly.
have left earlier, and
Yeah.
that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And it's like, bro, like
Man had the AK strapped to the chest,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
man. Waiting
Yeah.
like, nah, you ain't playing
Yeah.
with these guys, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
third world police.
They're
and
not- they're not police officers.
Throw you in the woods.
so it's spiritual, B, because when I was last in Ghana and I was in certain regions, I was in very town. I was like, you know what? I understand why in this country there's like only little congregation of people that are 12 tribes of Israel that teach in certain other towns, because them regions here, their marketplaces is like the marketplaces in the ancient world, whereby you might get stoned to death at the town center. Like you think you can go there with a so-called picture of white Jesus and spit on it in front of them, bogged out. Which I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but it's like that's why the internet
Exactly.
goes and picks up where we don't physically need to be.
Yeah, no, real shit.
Bro, like if someone's got an internet connection in Pakistan, in a Muslim village where if you are teaching the Bible, you might
brothers
get
on the
killed.
video cursing their gods out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Can you imagine?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because what is this? Look, there's regions on the earth whereby if they find that you are associated with the Bible, you will die.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, we obviously have faith, but the
With
scripture
that
also
not the
speaks
Lord
about
wisdom.
to use
temperate.
wisdom. But there's certain groups that will actually go there. Yeah, man, I'm not a weak Jew, and then end up getting
Yeah.
put in the earth, bro.
Yeah, the first
That's
thing about
why
this over there.
the scripture speaks about Psalms 19. If we can get that after, the feed horn,
Can I grab this?
Yeah,
Someone
that's
get
it.
Psalm 90
and
from-
Romans 10. The word is heard throughout all the
See, so
I'm
the
saying-
issue is, man, back in the ancient times, right?
Yeah.
There's regions like
regions
Rome, because Rome's like a polytheistic
exact
society.
Those
They had
more
Mars Hill and
inclusive,
stuff like that.
Mars
They
Hill.
don't mind you talking about other gods and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, directly, it's not a direct problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you got these other nations today that deal with certain gods, and man, you sit there,
bro.
certain places you wouldn't be able to go and do that, innit?
Yeah.
And so typically you wouldn't go there and do that.
Yeah.
You know, Rome was a different, like we was in Rome or whatever, but it was okay
It
to
was
be out
okay
there
to
and
do that,
do
yeah.
all that. Just like now, like we could,
Liberal more.
yeah,
So.
Esau allows it
Yeah.
to a certain degree,
Yeah.
so we can do it.
If I
But if it was in a place that we couldn't do it, we'd be able to come out and
That's
do
it.
it.
Right.
And to add to your point, Zaquan, as well, it's like they didn't have the in Rome at that time. Israel didn't have the power to basically just take someone out.
Yeah.
The same thing with Yahushua. They had to go and get permission
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. And
Right.
plus,
So they couldn't even treat poor a certain way because
Yeah.
he was a Roman citizen.
yeah.
Yep.
Like and although the faith caused problems, like with riots and stuff. Remember, like it still started off as a mustard seed. So like it was a small movement in comparison to what was already taking place in Rome, and then it built on. They built on, and then the people started to hear. So then towards the end of the Western Roman Empire, but by that time, the Christianity, as they call it, though it was mixed with paganism, just took over. You know what I mean? No, but it started a certain way.
And so even when the disciples that were some persecutions and that,
Yeah.
like they men were on the run.
That
They were hiding. Right? They didn't just go out there. They knew they couldn't go to a certain place and teach. They might have still taught in certain places, but it'll be low key, bro.
yeah.
He's gonna be somewhere man ain't gonna be at. You know?
Well, even the Apostle Paul. Remember after the Apostle Paul got stoned and he died for a bit.
Yeah.
Remember, it said he got up, dusted himself. He said, "Bro, I'm leaving." He went on-
Yeah.
He went on the
So,
journey.
Shake the dust off your feet.
Yeah.
That's what we feel.
Cause yeah.
So say you use wisdom, you gotta know the environment you're going into,
bro.
the people you're dealing with,
Yeah.
right? Don't be just an idiot. Oh, I'm just bare zealous. So I'm gonna go out there.
You know,
can't stop.
even like the way the apostles say you deal with certain these people when they come up, man. If a small hat comes up, you deal with them a certain way.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Now, but you know what else is spiritual as well? It's like if they was teaching the true truth, right, and pushing the right name, at least in their conscience,
They suffer for that reason.
they would know,
Mm.
you know what, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Let's say by chance, like a group of brothers in that country, because in fact, there's actually a brother from Great Millstone in Kenya, I believe. I mean, I'm not sure if he's still around, but in the past times I've seen his page. But the point I'm making is that at the very least, if that takes place when you're doing it for the sake of righteousness and teaching the true name, at least in your conscience, you know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm being persecuted for it. Prime example is in Acts 5. Remember when they got beaten up?
They rejoiced for it.
They was giving praises. But then if you go there with the foundation of Christ, I mean Christ, and all that spirit,
Yeah.
and then something happens, I know back of their brains, so some of them was thinking, yo, is it because we're not teaching the right thing?
Yeah.
So we're just fortunate that we're in in the West,
That's why we had the internet.
where we have certain freedoms to do certain things, man. You wouldn't go to somewhere you know you wouldn't last 2 seconds out
Bro.
there doing it.
Like,
You
come
know, because
on,
that was just stupid.
innit?
What word are you gonna get out?
Like,
You're gonna get no word out there.
so some dude go into like a you know them, I can't say some of them country names. You know them names where them dudes be doing explosive shit.
Oh, yeah.
Them regions, right?
I got a preset.
Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, you wouldn't just set up in their hometown and just do that.
But that's why you have the internet.
Yeah. Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
Yeah, that's it. You know, even sometimes, like the way we used to curse people out back in the day, bro.
Bro,
the Lord was with us.
The Lord was with us.
Ah, Lord.
That's it. It's a different thing. Like here, like you still get persecuted because people don't like what we're saying.
Yeah.
They don't like the doctrine, man. But legally, they have no right to do that.
Yeah.
You know, but they could still do something. We've been threatened, gunman, and all
That's
kinds of
it.
things. It's just, you know, if it happens, then it happens.
Yeah.
You know, the apostles got that story where the small hat, the judge defended them when they
Yeah.
were being anti-S. Like, and so, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have a right to say what they're saying.
And guess what? I'm
And that's
sure,
what the Lord provided them the way out.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm sure, I'm certain through faith that when the apostles and brothers, the elder bishops at the time were being persecuted, they had a good conscience that at
Yeah.
least we're doing this is happening for righteousness.
Yeah, it was written.
It was written to
Yeah,
happen, not like in a cell, like
No doubt.
I'm calling Christ though. You know what I mean?
Where's
I-
Nate? That's what they would have said. It's like, that's what, because
Yeah, where was they?
then they say, you've all got your spirit in you.
Oh yeah, I
You remember they said, you got your spirit, in
I
you,
actually remember that.
you know, spirit and Nate. You know, so they all thinking the first person that came to their mind was Nate, man. Sorry. The bishop.
The garment with Nas in the background. Hero.
So he was clean as well, like.
Yeah.
Man. But has anyone got out the Psalms
Oh,
and the Romans?
I've got Matthew as well. If I can grab
That's
that.
why the Lord gave us the internet to reach places that a camp may not. Because remember, like a whole town might exist.
Niggas not
So
rich. Niggas not rich, man. They're
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
getting on these airplanes, man.
Yeah.
Like, this plane place I would
Yeah.
like to go.
Yeah,
I ain't gone
yeah,
there.
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Somebody do that.
And plus, there's some places in your own country that you probably
Oh, let's be real. London's not that big. We ain't been everywhere.
Yeah,
man.
Nah,
But there's certain parts of London I'll be hearing, yeah, man, I'm from Denmark Hill. Where is that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I come to your part, I've never been here.
all the brothers are like, Khan, yeah.
That's not even London. That's not even Great
Yeah.
London.
that was agreement.
I'm like, right, TFL operate here?
To be fair, it's not even tip. Oh, like that's real. Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world
Yeah,
for a
remember.
witness.
Yes, exactly. Oh, can we get that one in the apocrypha? That son's from the east to the west.
What's-
the west.
What's the definition of the whole world? Is it just like based on the continents? You know, whatever. If you sit on the six continents or 7 continents, or whatever. That's the whole world.
Yeah.
Or is it every city on the world?
Yeah,
Like, what is that? Because we can't physically cover the whole earth. Like to be in every spot, like the countdown. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, right? So what does that constitute as, man? The fact that the message is in all these nations,
Exactly.
through the internet. Because we're not in every nation. Well, prophets, it's just like in every nation, but the prophets are not in every nation. Right? But the word is,
Exactly.
you know?
Bro, the spirit of the Lord to make a chariot come apart right here, right now, and it'll go viral to 2 billion people.
Yeah.
Like, knowing, and remember, the Lord is dealing with a small number in comparison to the whole earth. All the Lord cares about is his elect seeing the truth. And a person, and you know what? A person might be in a, because I remember back in the day, brother, there was a brother on one of the videos. I think the apostle, I don't know whose video it was, but it was a Nigerian brother. But he was in Kazakhstan. And he said, I'm an Israelite. He was in Kazakhstan, bro. And it's like you might be in a whole town where it's just you that knows the truth. And that person's role, like, I mean, that person can be like a old school man that's a bit old and frail, or like an older lady that just knows the truth. That their role might just be to hear and get saved.
Yeah,
So it might be that one person in Kazakhstan.
one out of the city
That's it.
Because we know
It doesn't matter.
we know the majority of the salvation is gonna come from America
It's
anyway.
like, man, it's not-
You know what I mean? So like, his why it works like needles and haystacks, man.
Bro, if
So how you
Yeah.
gonna go search out for them physically and go jump on this plane and that plane, go
Exactly.
find this Jake and that Jake?
Make,
You know what I mean?
Jake moving like it's the Crusades again, trying to find every.
And-
nah, but it makes it feel like
We're
you got
gonna come in
cerebral.
Kenya.
and like- and
They
like-
got cerebral.
Yeah. And like, if we keep it real, bro, a lot of these places are always warm and toasty.
Yeah,
I ain't seen you teaching the mountains of Russia yet.
true. True.
You know them ones. I'm, the ones like when the camera turns around, there's a nice spa place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, a nice hotel. I'm doing the work.
Do what it is. It's like, you get back in the day before COVID, all these like big shot businessmen.
Yeah.
They love going on business trips because it was nice. Everything, all expenses paid. They go
Yeah.
to this country, that country. Oh yeah, we should open up in this part of the world so that I can go on a trade mission down. That's what these men are doing.
Yeah.
Right? They're just trying to use the truth to judge. That's why I said before, look, man, stop. If you just say you want to go on holiday, just say you want to go on holiday, bro. Like, why are you always lying for?
That's good stuff.
Baruch
Yeah.
4:37. Lo, thy sons come.
Stop.
One second. Let me get in there, bro. All right, 1 second. Yeah, go on.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm telling you, if they could go to the South Pole. Yeah, man. So we here in the South Pole because our people. Yeah, like, bro, come on.
No,
Man.
they gotta go places where they can wear the t-shirts with the fringes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
There's two holes for the t-shirt that don't go out. They ain't got the camp jacket
true.
yet.
yeah,
It's true.
you clocked it.
That's
That's
what it
right.
is.
You clocked it.
They ain't got the production of the jacket shit. Jackets.
Oh man.
Okay.
A collaboration with Canada
Yeah,
Goose.
Yeah, fringes on the logo, brother.
Oh,
Bro, there's so many places, even in North Africa, that you can go, and they ain't gonna go there because like a fucking AK-47.
oh yeah.
Yeah, man, go Sudan. Go ahead.
Yeah, innit?
Go
To
Sudan.
have
man.
people in the land of the South of Sudan, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
This ball hits us. Come on, man.
Nah,
Show
run,
us the
run,
seconds, bro. Show us the seconds. Bro, it's mine. Still good at that.
You saying you want to go strike up, boss?
Yeah, man. Left foot. Just in case any scouts us.
Say what you saying, Robert? Did Baruch 4:36. O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Yahweh. Lo, thy sons come, who thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by
East
the
to
word.
the west by the word. And like you know spiritual because I just kicked that ball, right? You know when you play that sport of football, you know what the coaches always say? Pass the ball because the ball can move
Boston.
faster than the man. And spiritually, that's what this word too. Because as we preach on live, it's going out. You don't need to go like, you know what I mean? Like I just kicked that ball. I didn't have to pick up the ball and run to him and give it to him.
Yeah.
I could just give him a pass.
Yeah.
And that's what they were spiritually doing with this word. Like you do your video, someone hears it in Kenya, someone hears it in Cameroon, Chad, you know what I mean? Bournemouth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So many other places.
You know the beauty of every see the Lord's bad.
Transfiguration.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, trafficking everywhere.
The Lord's bad because it's like everything that Esau's using in terms of putting this NWO together is basically being used against him.
Yeah.
Because what do you have at the moment? You've got like this man Elon with his Starlink, right? But their whole thing is probably to be able to make sure that they can track everyone no matter what part of the world you're in, right? But guess what? That also means that people in remote ass places can still watch the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like long gone are the days when it's just like you know, you have to be in certain, you know, these set particular paces to be able to get access to the internet, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Scriptures that prophesy to the wind.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, the wind's got currents, man. It goes all over the earth.
that's
Exactly.
that's
Exactly. You know, you know what I mean? It flows.
bro.
And it's like, bro, it's like,
The spirit's like the wind, right?
bro, exactly.
So the spirit's moving,
And it's like,
pushing
it,
this truth.
bro,
bro.
it just makes it happen, bro. And it's like starting off with our apostles and elders, man.
Yeah.
They always tell the story of like that. I believe they said it was a 10-year span. Like I'm not really good at, you know, the history of them leaving the school and setting up their own thing. So just a couple, there was a span of
Small
time
section.
where it was just them just teaching.
Out there.
Like, do you remember them videos? You see, top men or elder bishops, those holding signs in some of them older videos. But then that great spirit kicked in 2007, and then throughout the whole planet Earth, bro, like there is actually a brother in Australia.
But it's a spiritual thing. That's why the internet's called the internet. The net is being cast out.
web,
You know?
net,
And
You know, and the fish were drawn in. The men were drawn in.
man.
Fishes and men.
Fishes and men, man.
and so once again, it's like part of Esau's system requires the internet to be everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Meaning
But it
that
gives us
everyone
access. Yeah.
it gives us access
Yeah.
to everywhere.
Well, even do you remember with the Starlink?
Mhm.
They brought the internet to one. You know, there's a tribe man in the Amazon,
Mhm.
and basically after a month they started watching porn,
Yeah.
getting fucked out. The point is, say like they, even though some of these tribes have certain languages, some of them also know Spanish and Portuguese.
Mhm.
So imagine the Lord has them or a certain person in that tribe stumble on a video of a brother.
Yeah.
You remember that those people in the Philistines, right? That were doing their thing, man. That was
Yeah.
calling on the Lord's name, man. They're actually saying the Lord's name in the Philistines in the congregation.
And once again with the AI now, man, it's like you know, on the latest Samsungs,
Translate live.
yeah, you can be on a phone call and it's doing a live translation.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Right? So then that also then means you get certain people in certain lands where, you know, and remember that the Apostle Tahai always gives that story every now and then about how it was a video of him and then someone had like dubbed it into Chinese or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the spirit is really at work, man.
You know, so
Because any shortcomings that we have as being mere men is being overcome by this technology that Most High's got us using.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, even, you know, not to put you on the spot, this brother does videos in different languages. What? Romanian, Korean, right? And I'm sure you do something else, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if the spirit will, and someone over there hears the word, you know what I mean? It's what it is, man.
That's a quick one on that. 2 Corinthians 13 and 8.
Oh, this brother's from Tanzania.
Mhm.
So what do you speak? Swahili, right? Yeah, bro. See what I'm saying? See, I'm Ghanaian. I can speak to you a bit. You know what I mean?
Are you
can-
black British? Huh?
I've tried it a couple times. It's been all right. But guess what? I actually understand it well. So if I had to translate, I could find a way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But that's
Everyone's got their gifts. Oh, them brothers in Holland. They do it in sign language. Like I remember when us brothers went to visit. You know how we say, you know, all praises be unto Jehovah Shem outside. They've got that translated in sign language. How we, you know, when we meet brothers and put blessing on them, they've got. It's been a couple years, brothers, since I've been to Holland. It's been like 5 years, but they have their own sign language to give a blessing upon the brother.
remember
Psalms 19, there's no speech or language.
Yeah. That's it says this. 2 Corinthians 13 and 8. But we can do nothing against the truth.
What are you gonna say, bro?
Or the truth.
So I was gonna say there was that time was at Camp Oxford Circus, man. I don't know if you remember it, where basically you had a guy, he came up and he was just like he wanted to hear, but like he was deaf. He was like,
Oh yeah, I remember that. I
then
actually
he was
remember
like,
that.
yeah, no, we're gonna camp. And I remember him being just so happy.
Yeah, I actually remember
You know?
that. There was actually a deaf. I remember that he was deaf. He came to the camp, and he was trying to like make it work. And then we showed him the brothers in Holland. And
Yeah.
he couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He was like, what? Sign language?
Yeah.
And hey, guess what? Them works are all done in what? Spirit and power. Oh,
That's it. That's it.
like, how much you on site?
It's like
Yeah, no, that's why. No, yeah, but that's why, like it says, man, there's nothing that can be done against the truth or for the truth. So regardless of all the basically the blockers that they try to put in regards to the truth getting out, the Lord is always gonna make a way for it to come
Yeah,
out.
the elect can't be held back. Right? The elect are gonna receive the truth no matter what.
Mhm.
You know, we haven't got to worry about the ins and outs of it. You know, the Most High is doing the work.
Sure.
You know,
Sheep,
and
yeah.
if you feel like you gotta somehow overcompensate for that, man, you don't have no faith.
You know what I was thinking of, the Quan? It's like this is the whole thing of the 300 with Gideon, man. Right? Because the Lord was like, man, if I let them, they're gonna say it was their own hand.
Yeah.
And that's what these men are coming in the spirit of. They're coming in the spirit of
Yeah.
we did this.
The great Nathaniel.
Exactly. You know? Whereas it's all
Yeah, for their own glory.
that's it.
I see the brand, you know?
Exactly.
Man,
The brand.
we are the biggest Israelite caption. Bro, even the other day, man, on Instagram, I saw the funniest video of them, their leaders. They're all in gold in that purple. They're doing like Superman poses. I'm like, bro, we're just men, bro.
He didn't look too super back there.
Yeah. It's like they're all in this like victorious, like I'm a warrior pose. These times, I know you got when
Bro,
you
where's
got,
the humility, bro? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, where were the apostles
Yeah.
of that? Just acting like very mad, like the man like got
Anyway.
man has spiritual power acting
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah, bro,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. These times, I know your knee got pain. I know underneath the jeans, the
Yeah.
super boot,
Man's got foot
he's
pockets.
got a support for his knee. Like, come on, bro.
I know we got garments, yeah.
Yeah,
They
we
flap,
got
they flap in
garments.
the wind and that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on,
we're
like,
not superheroes.
We're
yet,
not
man.
superheroes, bro.
You know?
Like, bro, we just want to be changed. That
That's it,
glory comes later.
We're in
Yeah,
this
you
flesh.
should- And the scriptures talk of the victory, says victory through your house shine.
Romans 11 and 7.
Hmm?
What then? Israel has not obtained that which is seeketh for, but the election has obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Right? It's only about the Lord is for his elect, bro. Bro, like Jake act like we're supposed to hold a convention in this park with 1,000 Jake from London. Bro, there's a lot of niggas here, bro.
There's a lot, and there's a
A
lot.
lot of niggas. Yeah, what you saying, man? You Israelites, yeah?
Base of salt.
I hear that. Smoke, like, you know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah, there are a lot of degenerates, and that's one of the like the things that over time the Lord will start opening up your eyes to.
We have a perfect example,
Yeah.
right? When us two brothers, the Lord put the spirit upon us from faith. Well, actually, it was us three that day,
Yeah,
because us three went to the same school in that, a couple of us. And that day, like around that time, a couple months before, is when we just the Lord brought us in. And obviously, do you remember? You know, you see the videos, death to the 2/3. You know,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we'd accept it, but we're still learning,
Yeah.
trying to understand it.
at
more.
first,
Yeah. Yeah, at
it's
first.
a hard thing.
At first, like, yeah, you know what, this is our people, man. What is this,
Some of them are cool.
Yeah, some of them are cool.
Yeah.
Bro, me and this brother got robbed at knife point with a Bible in our hand doing the video.
Yep.
And I showed the nigga the Bible. He said, bro, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
He thought, bro,
I saw a clip the other day. You know, I can't remember where it's from. Yeah,
Yeah.
jumped in. Someone's getting a Burger King meal in the car, right? Some nigga jumped in the car, but jumped in.
I took the burger.
No, it's like, give me all your shit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, I
You
don't-
know what I mean? You don't care about you being a brother or
Yeah,
nothing.
that's it,
Don't give a fuck,
bro.
You know what I mean?
Bro, that day I was reading the scriptures, was doing a video, and I had a big bottle of spirulina. You know, like, so this nigga had a nerve to ask after he said, "So, what's in that bottle, man?" I said spirulina powder. You know what I mean? But the point is, the nigga saw the Bible. The nigga
Yeah.
saw the Bible in her hand, saw who was doing the video.
Didn't
It was
mean
still okay
anything.
to do.
Yeah. So you know what? Then after that,
You
I said,
understood.
now I understand why they're
You
supposed to say
understood.
after 2-5.
But he wouldn't trouble no Christians, bro.
You wouldn't trouble no Christians.
With the
don't know
Bible,
anything
you know
about
what I mean?
that day.
This is what I'm saying. This is
Yeah.
why. That's why 2/3.
Bro,
That's where they gotta go.
Up to go.
we
you know?
was parked up, right, by a bench doing a video.
Broad daylight.
Yeah.
No,
and
no.
Someone's gonna go. It was a Sabbath.
Now
Yeah,
that individual could repent
Yeah,
and
of
be
course.
saved. He could repent and be saved. He could.
He could.
He could do it.
Definitely.
If the Lord wants it, he could do it.
Yeah.
Right. But we know the majority of people are not going to do that.
That's it. They're gonna do that.
The majority are not going to do that.
I
Yeah,
think,
you know?
yeah, spirit, and I think it came out that around that time he was doing it. So many people in the park. But the point is,
Yeah, no fear, bro.
yeah. So
No
that's
fear.
why every time Jake think was supposed to go into the like hood on the block, whereas Jake, whoa, do you remember that video? They was teaching at the petrol station.
Corey, innit?
Well, no, was it no?
Oh,
IOIC,
oh, I-
IOIC, right?
there was another one. There was another one.
Oh,
it's not one.
it was Sakari.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, I
Was it-
can't remember.
And it was at night, right?
It was a nighttime
I
video,
thought-
and then
I
Jake
thought it was like, I see, I thought.
I thought,
there was one with the Sakari as well. They were in the hood.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
least,
yeah.
at least there's one.
Yeah.
Sakari.
There was one with Sakari as well.
and then there was that petrol station and guns started. And, oh shit!
Yeah.
Come listen. Let's
You
think about it,
shouldn't have
man.
been there anyway,
Shouldn't have
man.
been there, man.
Crackhead spot. But
Yeah, 'cause let's be real, man. When certain of these Edomites be getting on Jake, we agree. Let's be real, right? And do you know what? More so, the Lord agrees because the Lord is gonna allow those Jakes to be taken by these Edomites, man.
Yeah, what's that one? Ezekiel 9. Slay
Mhm.
utterly,
Yeah.
You know, because that's bro. Listen, man. Like you can't love. There's actual scripture in there.
love the creation was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because we're out to save our people. You're not saving no one.
I see-
The Lord is the one who's doing the saving.
yeah, and the Lord doesn't want to.
He doesn't want it.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that as well. So if you got it, yeah, because at first Jeremiah was like, yeah, but then after a period of time, you see why the 2/3 got. And the thing is, it will start. It like that's a beautiful thing about this truth, right? Because you may look at a gangbanger as worse than one of them Christian niggas. They're just as bad as each other. Just as bad as it. Because what's the first law? Thou shalt have no other god before me, right? So they're hella contravening the laws of the Most High,
Yeah.
right? But at the same breath, it's like they're just as bad because you be hearing they'll be doing that whole fake righteous thing,
And then to witchcraft. Yeah.
straight up into witchcraft. But then what was jabba lubba 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 all of that nonsense, man.
Yeah.
Right? They're
First-
demonic as hell too, man.
Oh, straight up witchcraft.
Pedophilia and Christian.
Oh yeah. Alphabetism,
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. man.
adultery.
Well, yeah. Well, do you remember that freak from school?
Oh, I mean,
nah,
there were several.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
One
We'll
where-
talk.
We both share the same first name. The one-
Oh yeah.
remember in school that and it's crazy. When we was in school, right? When we was like 15 or whatever it was, 14.
Cool.
I called him. I actually
Yeah.
said to people, this guy's a faggot. I said he's sweet, and the whole school year was mocking me. Years when we finished school, this guy's a transgender, full on transgender, bro.
Insane.
He's a full on transgender, bro.
True.
And I think he won a trans award.
And worse
He
thing,
actually won an award, a trans award.
ain't there pictures of that degenerate with like men and that?
Oh, boyfriend.
Oh man, I mean it's. But we're the problem,
In school, he was strong as hell, man. You know? Fuck.
And now he's a freak. And this is why once again we say, Eve, you're a big part of the
Yeah,
problem,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
because
And
he was
bro.
defending it.
The whole year was.
Everyone. The worst thing is they used to always say it, and I ain't gonna do because I
Yeah.
hate that motion, right? But they always used to refer to him as that so and so, i.e. the one that's
Yeah. That's like give him a random name like Steve.
yeah,
So-
like they'll say like that's Steve,
Yeah.
right? They'll do the hand gesture
They'll do
of
the
like a
hand
mo
gesture.
and that,
Yeah.
right? So but they were friends with him.
Yeah.
They protect him.
They protected him, and now he's a full on
Yeah.
demon, bro.
Yeah.
Got a quick one on that.
Demon. Yeah, go on, bro.
This is Proverbs 17:15. He that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they are both an abomination to the Lord.
Which proves that mindset of like it's not harming me, I mean, I'm cool with it, but that's not my thing. But nah, bro.
And you
You
know,
have to pick a side, as they say.
exactly. It was Philippians 2:12, a little leaven up the whole lump.
The whole lump.
Because you know what, man, I remember back in the day, we went from as long as it ain't happening near me, i.e. the whole Mosta, to like you were saying that story of just like roadman Lipson,
Yeah.
right? In a short space of time, that shows you that now that whole spirit, which that was witchcraft, mind you, because that's why you'd always hear it on the TV. Oh, as long as it ain't happening near me, as long as it ain't happening near me, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's why judgment needs to come. This place needs this earth, these people, man. These people need judgment, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, remember, the wickedness that we see,
Oh,
it just was before our face.
that's it.
What the hell's happening behind it?
Behind closed doors. Yeah.
Remember in the scriptures when they was able to see the
Yeah.
prophet Ezekiel, right? He saw through the walls, man. They could see what it was really up to. Like, guess what? The angels of the Lord see everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's why, you know, when you see certain people, oh, he was a good man. Like, you know, he was a good man and just get some mad judgment. You never know what he did.
You never know what you did.
You know?
That's it. That's it. You ain't the most.
That's it. Right? Yeah, yeah.
This is the book of Second Ezra 15:6. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hateful works are fulfilled.
That's it. So it's now it's right. It's right for judgment. Psalms 92. When the wickedness spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it's so that it should be what? Destroyed. So that's what's gonna happen, bro. Like this, you know, obviously the term strange fruit applies to Jake, you know, but this earth has got that wicked fruit going on, the fruit of lies, which it speaks about. So much evil, so it's fruitful, right? So it has to be burnt up, man.
We live in a time now where you can get asked, would you ever deal with a tranny?
Yeah,
You say no, and then you're the one in the wrong.
yeah.
That's the life
Oh,
world that we live in.
He's transphobic, nigga. No, I want him to melt.
That's it.
I ain't bro. I'm afraid of these
I'm disgusted.
women out here. That's why you have to be careful.
100%.
Sometimes those lines fade, bro. But through faith, we know that the Lord is gonna guide us away from that shit.
That's
That's
it.
bullshit, bro. Because even when these moles say, I don't want to deal with a woman, they're not gonna come at you with, oh, you don't like straight people, you have a problem. Oh, you must accept them. Why don't you?
Yeah. And that's why be hella
That's
careful of them dark
heterophobic.
spaces,
You're
man.
heterophobic. Yeah, they know such thing as that.
I've never heard that word in my life. I just made it up.
I said, but I don't know, be hella careful of them dark ass spaces. I always remember what
them dark
them dark venues, man.
Yeah.
One of them things was like I like it in them dark places
Clubs.
because like I get kissed like I'm a woman. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, you know, certain things, always as we all have to be circumspect.
Straight over to clubs.
Yeah, that's it. Number one.
Yeah. Because because I never went, I never got clubs. They never made sense to me. It's like you see a thing. Hello, what's your? It's like, what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now?
We'll close up in a bit.
Yeah.
This is the book of
When I was
Ecclesiasticus.
on a plantation, man.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, 40 and the circle 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood.
Yeah, that.
We started off with all of that.
Exactly.
Spirit, because the judgment that's coming, it's not for the righteous.
Yeah. It's for the wicked.
Yeah, the righteous, although it's going to be tough for them, they're going to be delivered.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really for the wicked.
Yeah.
The wicked, because the wickedness is exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
That,
you know,
because what was taking place in the flood? Remember, like the scriptures always give like especially when you're talking about the perfect word, like it will just give a feeling of the time, because people, what? I mean, why is the Lord gonna judge them if it was just getting married, man? Getting married, you know, eating. What you say you can't eat? You're a dumb nigga to say. What you just said you can't eat, bro? What you can't eat? Oh,
That guy, Tottenham. Bible thing, man.
I remember that guy, bro. So when the scripture says that, it was just making the point of they wasn't hearkening onto the word and they were doing whatever they wanted. And that's why in the scripture it says the earth was filled with violence and every man was just on their own thing. Yeah, right their way, serving false gods, you know, being free. No, there's nothing new under the sun. These bro, it's like if you get a freak now today, and you can see his past incarnations, the nigga did the same thing in the Assyrian Empire. He did the same thing in the ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Did it before the flood. He's just probably a different height. You know what I mean? He's just, you know, a different complexion or whatever it is. There's no new thing.
Same spirit.
Same spirit, man.
Same spirit.
You know? So that's it. And that's why the judgment came then. And that's why it's going to come now.
That's what's needed.
It's needed, bro. This earth needs to be humbled, man.
They're saying nothing's progressed. Esau like he's the savior of the world, right? He's bringing everything to greatness.
Yeah.
No, nothing's changed. It's got worse.
The only thing that's like progress is he's found the different ways to sin more.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, how do you do that?
He's advanced. I was in spirit because I was thinking he's advanced. He's advanced sin. He's advanced wickedness.
Yeah.
Whereas before, a man, which I'm thinking is going to sound wild. Whereas before, a man could only just wear a woman's clothing. Now, a man can actually change his plumbing, right? Bro, and the thing is, like, when you look into, it's why the Lord has to be with you, man. Because when you look into what they can do, right? I remember hearing one thing, it bugged me out for a little while, man. He said only a gynecologist can tell the difference between a real one and a synthetic one.
They're raising kids.
Yeah.
To training them
Yeah.
act like the other.
Yeah.
Making them younger.
Making them younger.
And they can affect the whole world, man.
They affect the whole world.
They can affect the whole world, the internet, the media, everything. They can get everybody take part in this wickedness.
Exactly.
It's not isolated. It's not in a city, particular city like Sodom and Gomorrah and 5 cities. It's everywhere.
Exactly.
You know, it's increased it on another level.
Exactly. And it's like the scripture doesn't deal with that mindset. Oh, that's wicked. What's happening over there? There's nothing to do. No, that affects you.
Because what with Lot and that.
Yeah.
It was Abraham. He wasn't saying, "Oh, that's so bad." He was just like, "Yo,
Yeah.
It does.
affects every little leaven of the whole lump, man."
Well, there's a scripture that I'm gonna find it. I think it's Leviticus 19 on your daughter being a whore, right? And it basically speaks about how that if you don't stop it, the whole land is gonna be the same way eventually. Yes, you know.
Yes, sir.
I'll find it eventually. But
Yeah, but it's it. The spirit of things, man. Because at the end of the day, then what starts happening is, like, for instance, Soho in London, right? That's like our Sin City, if you will, right? If you wanted, everyone knows from all different parts of the country. If you want to go freak off, right? You know, Soho, you can go down Soho. Why? Because there's a certain spirit around there. Demons, right? It's
demon in heels.
Yeah.
You know?
It ain't just the fact that it's
the devil wears Prada.
exactly.
Yeah,
I have a precept. This is Leviticus 19 and 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to hoarding and the land become full of wickedness.
Yeah.
So people think, so now is a perfect example. You know, get them coins, sis.
Yeah, slut walking that.
Bad bitch and all that.
Get paid.
Yeah, get paid, girl, and all that. Like, I hate this world, bro. Like, a person could be a demon, but he's just rich, so he's righteous now.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a fuck what Jay-Z has to say? You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you know, it's like
He's the best of us.
I actually been seeing these guys like it'll be like Birdman or Lil Wayne doing a talk in a uni.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, kids, you know what I mean? I started from the streets. You know, you sold your ass, bro.
Yeah.
Just
Tell the
come
story.
up and just tell them.
Tell the story
Yeah,
for
what is
real.
You split it for a Duke. That's what happened.
What was he saying? We should go back to the street and sell crack then,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and then get your ass split,
Yeah.
and then get a record deal. That's
Yeah.
how you should go about life.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like, bro, people listen to, though he's, which really, you know what I mean, he's a puppet to like Thai madness, the total church of Israel, Kanye West. Because he's a puppet. He mixes certain truths, just bugged out shit, so that people can just discredit this whole faith. But like, who cares what Kanye has to say?
Real talk.
Like, you know,
And
people.
we're the only nation.
Yeah.
We're the only nation.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the only nation that when something happens, we're calling our entertainers. Once again, Esau did that on purpose. Let's not try and pretend that they ain't no smart Jakes. I mean, you got that. You know who's that bugged out science Jake, man?
Not Tyson.
The grass Tyson.
Oh
man.
yeah.
He's never been not in the same way. That they or call them up, but it's like we got intellects amongst our people, but Esau will purposely go out.
Bro, there's hella of Jake judges.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, let's be real. Even Kamala Harris, you know, she was a judge.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like there's this. This is why this kingdom has to go, bro. It has to go. Like a person can be a total freak, but like people see them. Oh, can you sign my autograph?
He's a nice person.
Like, how do you know he's nice? Well, a nice
What do you
means,
know about it?
well, you're nice because that word means to not know. So you're ignorant to the wickedness he's doing, bro.
Yep.
Like even Kendrick. Don't get me wrong. Kendrick makes really good music. I've listened to him for a long time. But now he's just like a black Christ now. Yeah. He's just like he stands on a mic and wearing a crown of thorns, and he's just deep now. So he got money. So he just writes.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Now he's got the minds of the people.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
The scripture speaks about these people's supposed gain is godliness.
Yeah.
Like Jake, like bro, a mass murderer nigga can have money and just wear a white suit, and niggas will actually go and buy his book.
Yeah. Well, you can
get inspired by a nigga.
the most popular awards. You got World Star, Black TV. Like you know, you'll get a guy.
Can we get that when I speak?
You'll get that guy. What's his name, man? The games manager.
The poor man's wisdom.
Whack 100. The guy will literally be a 50-year-old gangbanger talking about, yeah, man, on the set, man, yeah, man, no snitches, no snitching and all of that.
24.
That's a 50-year-old nigga teaching man how to gangbang.
Yeah.
100, and they'll be like, yeah, man,
Checking in.
yeah, but we gotta get whack on Black TV.
Yeah.
Telling us what we
People actually, which is why when that dude that likes getting pegged went on that podcast, it's like, why are you talking to these people?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to speak about with a dude that let Jake fuck his wife?
Yeah.
I wonder why. You know? Go ahead, bro.
When I start, the Ecclesiastes 15, I mean, 3 and then I jump down.
Yeah.
The rich man has done long, and yet he threateneth widow. The poor is long, and he must entreat also.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. A guy can be rich and just, he's rich, so it's cool if he does wicked.
Must be righteous.
But then a poor man, right, in spirit and in actual just look appearance, could be wrong. Then people expect him to just, all right, I ain't trying to do it anyway. You know what I mean? You know, and it's sort of like in this world with like, you know, women out here, right? You know what I mean? Like a normal Jake man, like in the street, can like fall. People will laugh at him. You might get help from one person, but a bitch with an ass can do some stupid shit. And, you know, everyone's all, it's just like everyone's like, this is like they're playing fucking basketball to try and help her.
Proof of that
Yeah.
is the You're a Slut video.
Yeah.
Here it is. Jake didn't know who this woman was. Jake didn't follow up for the next part where the apostle were bringing up some hella edification. They were just like, oh, you can't talk to the sisters like that. Look, man, Eve is a big part of the a reason why we're in the situation we're in.
The woman thing.
Of the woman became, yeah. When you're looking at all of these gangbangers, come from Big Shirley. When you're looking at a lot of these, because one of the things we touched on before, when you're looking at a lot of these jakes that are now into weirdo shit, you know, their family's been touching them, their mums let some weirdo in the house. And this guy just, because you hear stories like that where the guy's just been popping the door, a more polite woman.
Like himself.
No, like.
So we go, I mean, jump down. Ecclesiastes 13 and the 21. A rich man beginning to fall is heard half of his friends.
Yeah, that, you know, oh yeah, like again, a person can be a total loser, but he's rich, so everyone's, oh bro, don't worry, man. Yeah, man, I'm here for you. You know, like bro, like Kanye West can just do a video on his page right now, like, hey guys, I'm in London, I'm going to stay. Can someone help me out? And you have a million people. Come to my house, bro. My mom's got some rights.
Yeah.
Rights and rights away. Everyone make it happen.
Yeah.
But then a poor man, you know,
Trying to hear that.
bro, he's like, bro, can you
Put me up.
that's why, especially with the people in the street, like, you know, especially, you know, Jake, that say, can you buy me food? I can't turn that down for me personally. If they come in a good spirit, you know. Right?
A rich man begin to fall is heard half of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also
But you know what it is?
away.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
But they stand to benefit from helping the rich man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the reason why they'll do it.
Some reward for
There'll be some reward.
Why the scripture says a friend cannot be known in prosperity.
Prosperity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which scripture also says, like, don't like be it says don't hate
Tasty to
hate not that one, but there's one that says, like, don't be quick to, like, cast off a
oh yeah.
old friend.
Mm.
You know, so someone you've known for long from your childhood, and you get rich, and then you're just like, I'm gonna back. Because 9 times out of 10, they love you for you.
Well, niggas find that out.
Yeah,
Niggas find that out when they get new circles and shit. Man,
Yeah.
they're around you because you got money, man.
Exactly.
You know.
Because like dudes get rich and then they just start wearing the shades.
Same with these women. You got a
Yeah.
woman, you know, you've been with a long time, where you get yourself a bad bitch now because you got money.
Yeah.
These bad bitches ain't good, man. They just want your money, man. They'll fuck up next.
Yeah,
to you,
yeah.
Look all them young NBA and NFL players, man.
Yeah.
They be getting all them old hoes. Because them old hoes know that them young, dumb, they just want to bag me. And they ain't got anything up here.
Yeah. Which is why they're supposed to be stumbling at their beauty, man.
That's it.
Because beauty is vain.
That's it.
You know, for Proverbs, which none of these are in that Proverbs 31 spirit. But, you know, it's best, you know, to like that like beauty is vain, right? You know? I mean, like, it's best to try, if you do deal, to deal with one that's not as big as the demon. Because all you want to do is anyway. You know what I mean? I even saw a story once of a dude, right? He was with his wife for a long time. And she over the time started to get bigger and put on weight. Bitch ended up losing weight, lost 100 pounds. And when she got her mojo back, she just left that same guy and started to go with other women. She left the man and her kids to go and deal with another man that left her.
These hoes ain't loyal.
We're gonna wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Last one.
That's it.
They say, thrust also away by his friends. When a rich man is foreign, he has many helpers.
Yep.
He speaks things not to be spoken,
Yep.
and yet men justify him.
Yeah, like, no, it makes sense. I see what you say. Like, you know, what I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
Yeah, well, look, it was that's real cognitive bias, man. There's cognitive distance, whatever it's called, man.
Well, it's both.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, because even like the whole thing with Trump, man, right now, these times these men are getting hurt by his policies,
Yeah.
and they're making no. But really, you see, the thing is,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's
well,
just-
well, well,
Usually chess,
yeah.
it's chess. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, well,
Yep.
well, when Kanye West called Trump his father, you know what I mean? People like, which
Oh, slavery was the choice when he said
slavery
that as
was
well.
choice, which really slavery was predestinated anyway. You know, from the classes, it was supposed to happen, but it's like his mindset was like, bro, what are you talking about? And people actually made a case.
The choice was go into slavery or die.
Yeah, that. Bro. That's right.
The poor man sleep, and yet they rebuked him too.
Yeah, us. Sometimes at the camp, you might stumble on your words.
You know
what I mean? Yeah, or you might get a date wrong, or like an age wrong of a particular pig. People always got
The minute details.
minute details. You see, Israel. You know what I mean? There's the whole pointing at the camera and shit.
Yeah.
But bro,
Does that you know?
like it doesn't take away from the message.
Yeah, yeah.
Or your punctuation in your video type.
4K camera.
Yeah, we're 4K camera.
Yeah. See, there's this buffering.
Yeah, it's buffering.
We ain't got nice garments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you got silk. And like, come on, man, we'll go a 4K camera doing a like 2-hour video. You know how long it's gonna take to upload, bro? Take a long time to process that shit,
Jake's
man.
got a 4K TV. I mean, not that you don't have them, but what I'm saying is like if it's supposed to be accessible to all,
Yeah, it was still compressed anyway.
you know what I mean? There's no real need to film in 4K
One on the top.
because you can still see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not running 240. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back
The
in the
thing
day,
is, it's-
240.
which goes to show for these people, it's all about being seen.
Yeah.
Because it's all because really it's supposed to be all about.
They
work.
want to see the glory.
Yeah.
They want to show off the glory because they they're dressed up the way they're dressed up, and man have got rings and all these types of things here. You know,
It's just about the truth. But all of that stuff. Man.
it's not about us.
But yeah, I mean, views and all of this, all of that. No matter, man.
These are plays with the views anyway. That's the worst thing. About
yeah,
it.
well, that video of us brothers that went viral,
Yeah, not
it
too-
capped at
Yeah,
880,
yeah.
880,000 views. And it's been the same for like 4 years.
No
But
one's seen it since.
for 6-7 years. But when it was happening, it was going up like
Yeah.
50,000
You
per fucking hour.
you should archive that, man. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
they're like,
I don't want to see it no more.
yeah,
For real.
yeah. It's crazy, man. And guess what? Our main camp channel got clipped.
Yeah.
Our main camp channel that had all the videos got clipped, but that same clip is on. You know that cunt, the Muslim.
Dawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on there.
It's
yeah,
on-
yeah,
still on
yeah,
his
yeah,
channel.
yeah, that's right. That's
So
right.
so he needs to run us money. Man. He needs to run us money. Man. But for real, them views, that shit
It
don't
don't
matter.
matter.
Hey, shit. My page got clipped last night,
Yeah,
bro.
Hey,
I know it.
I didn't get no strike, no warning, nothing. My last video was on a market beat, and it just clicked my channel.
What they say?
They said it was a scam and spam. Yeah,
yeah,
scam.
so- yes.
So I appealed, and they said, no, that's it,
It's not even up on somebody.
bro. I
It's
didn't.
weird.
It just. I'm like, I did a video on the market beat, and but I didn't get strike. I've not had a strike warning here, and it's got clipped.
And that's
So you how temporary this thing.
yeah, it's all temporary.
Not that we put trust in it anyway.
Yeah.
Because fuck it, man, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, it gets clipped.
Hey,
you
the
put-
day,
you
the day,
make
the
another
day you
channel.
lose access to all these things, man, it
Yeah.
won't matter.
Exactly.
The
But
next will be sealed, and
exactly.
you know what I mean.
But guess what? There's certain dudes. They put their trust in. I got 100,000 subscribers.
Where's their platform?
Yeah,
Where's their platform?
the
bro?
platform
I'm saying,
say, hey,
Yeah, they got to pay subscriptions.
yeah. So when it goes down,
their livelihood to
My
the life.
super chat.
my super chat.
That's man's livelihood.
Man's livelihood.
This is not ours. We don't earn money. We don't make
Yeah.
money from this.
Spiritual money being
Spiritual
stored up,
money.
stored up
Yeah,
in the
man.
heavens.
But we're not dependent on this.
Yeah.
Not by a long way.
Hey, what the Lord said when the disciples run out, take those scripts.
That's it.
Don't worry about nothing. Even the birds, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
don't worry about it, man.
Bro, that all that fame, that cloud, vain, bro. Because at the end of the day,
Go and go.
your a clout and how people like the praise you get of men is not gonna mean that because you're famous and you're praised, you're getting beamed up. Because a person could just be just a brother. he's kind of like keeps himself to himself, does the work, and he's getting beamed up. But then you, oh, great chief priest of Pegasus.
He's gonna go
You know what I
first.
mean?
He's gonna go first,
Yeah,
right? Because he's
yeah.
a great one,
Yeah,
and you ain't getting picked up
he
at
ain't
all.
gonna get beamed up, bro.
You ain't getting picked up at all, man.
You know,
You know.
yeah. Because the only beam he knows about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we will close that on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes on to say,
It's concentrated plastic.
Oh, man. Basically, you know,
Respect-
when the scripture says, and it became a proverb.
Yeah,
in
okay,
Israel.
yeah.
This man's a proverb in Israel.
Proverb it is, bro.
Everlasting shame, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it started from, for him, started now.
Yeah.
Shit started now. Okay.
That's crazy.
the poor man sleep, and yet they rebuke him too. He spake wisely, and he couldn't. And he could have no press.
So they want us to slip up. They can't wait.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to find something on us or whatever. Okay. So right now, they just got to lie. They just got to lie on us or whatever.
But the worst thing is that it's so, because we're just mentioning that particular thing. Right here it is. They've been waiting for us GMS
Yeah,
to
it's all these
fall.
guys though.
But then when like someone fell, and that wasn't just a fall, that was a fall. Jay was out trying to defend this, proving exactly this.
But that's it. Let it be any one of us though, man. Them man try to hang us, bro.
Bro,
They be hanging us.
you know, our elder apostle, man, Apostle Ricard. Bible jacket.
Man, I'm on with that, bro.
Bro, like, come on, bro. Oh, he's a gangbanger. But these times, you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No, Luke.
Okay, he's a gang member, but every man wear Nike.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You're idol worship with it, innit? But
Yeah.
you know that's not how it really goes. You know,
Really?
you know, these men use double standards all day long just to justify their position. You know,
which of course in the states has got more meaning. But bro, brothers got biker jackets. Like shit, you know. If that's your style, that's your style.
I mean, there's certain things you might not wear,
And exactly.
but you know, it's down to you, man. It ain't nothing.
But then at the same time, these are the same dudes that will go on podcasts with murderers and try and teach them. So I do not know a man might know a man who's a part of a biker crew that's kind of learning. You know what I mean?
But it's not something we would promote at the camp.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like because that's not what we're trying to send you, man.
Exactly.
What a man do, like, not saying a man could do anything in his private.
Exactly.
We're not saying that.
Yeah.
But things are not that deep on certain things. You know, whether a guy just likes a jacket, you know what I mean?
Brothers
know?
come from different
Or
backgrounds.
he got different types of jackets.
Yeah.
So what? You know what I mean? Is he a part of gang? No, he's not.
That's it.
So what's the real problem, innit?
And guess what?
He's not promoting it.
Yeah.
You know?
But that dude made a whole thing about it, and now he gets paid, and we get the blame.
Yeah. These times, man. The thing is, you would have known what is lost to her. Right, you don't just wake up one morning and be like, "Oh,
I would have made a video and I'm gonna
Bro,
got paid.
This guy said like it
you know,
was
like
a
back attack,
realm of fantasy.
yeah." Which so you never spoke
Well,
about.
he-
Nah, I rebuke them, Dean. But so
Anyway,
And he's same old proud self right now, man.
yeah,
Probably received the peg after accused man of the jacket.
that's it.
and now you see he
No, yeah.
spent the money from times on a whole. You know,
I
like,
watched the rebuttal video.
I ain't watched it to be honest.
I watched it.
Is there any?
I mean, like, I don't know. It's like Reservoir Dogs right now.
Yeah, to be honest,
so
yeah.
they're just throwing shade in each other all day long.
I
innit?
think all of them were.
So I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, for real.
All of them were.
But
all of
Adams
them
was showing his statements basically, man. Man's making money, you know.
I'm making bread.
You know,
Yeah, he said he was
but he's but the math's not mathing, isn't it? But I don't fucking know.
Who cares?
I don't
Like,
care.
all the guys
I
who
don't care.
They're doing too
But
much.
they, you know what I mean? They're just throwing shit on each other right now, man. So you know how what that ends up to, man.
That's
They're
it.
all gonna fall together, bro. You know what I
That's
mean? They're all gonna fall together.
Finish it up. When a rich man speaketh, every man orders his tongue, and look, what he says, they extol it to the crowds. But if the poor man speak, they say, "What fellow is this?"
Yeah.
And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
Yep.
Which is why it's beautiful that the Lord gave the truth to just normal men, to the babe, as the scripture says.
And this is why the Lord also said he said the weak to confound those things that are mighty, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not what you expect.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because man, if someone like now I've noticed that people nowadays esteem that freak What's that freak, man? That made all these movies.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. Nowadays, he's actually seen as a black
Yeah, icon.
excellence, like a billionaire leader. I'm like, bro, he's famous for wearing a dress.
Yeah.
But then that's why the truth really should go back.
That's it. Because once again, it's all about exalting Yahweh Shem Shai, right? You know, once again, fourth time, you know, in the house today, once again, you know, because it was a nice visualization of it, right? You know, everyone's like, oh, like, hey, the wild was like, but it wasn't about him, it was about Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Whereas it's the same thing with us. People will, you know, if we're TV Jakes,
Because we're not special.
exactly.
We're not really special. Let's just be honest, man. We're just men. We're not really special. We're always special because the Lord took us out the world. But in and of ourselves, we're not special people, man. You know, not yet at least. You know.
Mr. Vessel, yeah.
So yeah, we understand when you look at us like we're just pieces, just pieces of shit. Because we are. You know, we're just, I say we're just like anybody else. But the only difference is we got the truth, which is something far greater than anybody else has got out here. You know, and I say it was given to us, man. And we're here to, to share it with the elect.
That's right.
You know, that's it. You know, called to do a great work, bigger than us. All this is bigger than us, man. You know, but some man start putting themselves first. You know, and start exalting their own selves. You know.
Hey man, that's what it is. It's truth for you, right?
That's it. You know, so we gotta wrap it up there, man. You know, give no praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Again, double honors to the elders, the apostles, GMS, man.